Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 208. You did some math, it turns out.
Mathematically.
And what did it turn out? What did your math?
4 years.
Deep into the vault of mathematics. It's 4 years we've been doing this podcast. Wow.
Well, I mean,
that's wild.
Whenever it reaches my birthday, that's usually the indicator as well.
And that math tracks because we started as you were just about to turn 13. So you were technically 12. That's wild. And now you're about to be 17 coming up. And my age is irrelevant because it doesn't matter. Very young.
Oh, there was some wrestler telling me you're the same age as. I don't remember.
Listen, someone at Pickleball. I
swear it was like Jeff Hardy or something.
Someone at Pickleball, my new obsession, by the way. So if you're a regular listener, get ready to hear the Pickleball era come in because as a 40-year racket sport guy, just discovering Pickleball as I get older, really fun. And your mom's kind of gotten into it, which is going to be fun as well. So what was I saying? I got on a pickleball tangent.
Someone thought you were...
Oh, I thought I was 33 or something. Which was made my day. Made my day.
Yeah, you were 33 when I was like barely had consciousness.
That's true. So we will get into our regular stuff just before we continue to ramble. We're going to talk about Money in the Bank, right? We're going to talk about Heatwave that we were in attendance for in Toronto. We'll review AEW Dynamite. We'll talk NXT. We'll talk Raw. I only saw a tiny bit of TNA. I probably won't talk that. We'll throw in some news and rumors, some trivia. That's what's happening. That's where I was going.
That's the thing.
So because it's our fourth year doing this now, you decided, because we've been talking about it for a while, so go ahead and
it's like a thing I had in the works for a while, because our gimmick is I'm youthful, but my memory stretches long past my lifespan and maybe yours.
That you have a ridiculous knowledge
and
of.
So, yeah, that's our thing every week with the trivia, right? Is I get things right that I shouldn't get right. And so we're going to go the complete opposite direction.
Well said.
I've curated, I guess, like, it's random stuff from, like, I try to keep it, like, recent stuff because the whole thing is you should know.
Yeah. So, in a nutshell, every week, we can attest to this. If you listen as well, you can too. He knows things about wrestling he shouldn't know. And the flip side is I don't know things that I should very well know.
And so that's I will see how well this goes because I don't know. Like, I obviously had a vision and I did have to alter things. Like, one of the ones I had when I initially had worked on this however long ago was what's Marcel Bartel's new name, and obviously that's a lot easier to remember now that he's
and that I watched the product.
And that he's got some prominence now, right?
Still took me half a second, even when you said that.
See, that might be it. So
I think it's going to be.
We'll see how it goes.
Things that I immediately know, don't know but can retrieve.
There's somewhere I'm going to try to make you second guess yourself.
Don't know but can retrieve, and then just no shot. I guess that's how it works.
I'm hoping it'll kind of go up that way, but we'll see.
So that's something to look forward to on this show. There are timestamps. You can jump to whatever you like because it's obligatory Acolyte time.
Acolyte season.
The non-wrestling Acolytes.
Yeah.
And so this was...
another complete flashback episode, as expected.
So now the truth
I don't like when they do that.
The truth on the fire and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Accidental fire, accidental stabbing.
Yes. Murdering of people's mothers.
Yeah. And then, like...
spoilers, by the way.
What, the rest of them just kind of got taken out in, like, a force fight with Indara because she just kind of she broke the mind control and then they all died.
Something.
I was hoping like they would go kind of like episode 5, go completely the other way with violence, and it's just a bunch of Jedi stabbing witches for half an hour.
Right.
But because then like it would be like I was hoping like the witches would go super hardcore, and then it's like the Jedi have to kill all of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then it's like obviously they're not trying to be murderous, but then like that's what they're trying to cover up, kind of like what they did. But it's like they didn't have the balls to do that or something.
Lots of accidents. Accidental fire, accidental murder of the mom.
Yeah, which I guess, but like I would have liked it less to be less accidental, more forced our hand kind of deal.
Yeah.
And also what I don't love is like I do think having the long flashbacks is important to the story. Like it gives us the information we need, but I kind of wish this was like they had streamlined the process for this one, maybe made it half flashback and half like current timeline, then maybe made a bit of a longer episode, because I feel like episode 6 last week we had some good momentum going into like the finale kind of stretch, and then it's just like kind of this bump in the road here, and I know the finale is not going to be some extra long thing, so it's like
they're generally not, right?
Unless they go to another season, which I'm not sure if they would or not. I'm not sure if this show warrants another season. I'm sure most people don't want that. I'm okay with it because I think it's been solid.
I'm enjoying it.
I think it's been fine
for the most part, for sure. There's a couple well, I know you love the one episode, right?
That episode was fantastic. That's the best lightsaber choreo in decades.
It's good, very enjoyable.
Yeah, and so that it's been solid, and so I guess I'm looking forward to the finale. I mostly like invested in Darth Teefs.
Yeah, Darth Teefs, yes,
or Chimere, because he's my boy, and then Soul's cool, the Asian.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. So we're knocking this out on a Saturday, July 13th, before you go to work, before I go to 2 basketball games coaching your brother's team. And then next weekend's going to be tough, because I'm in Montreal. So we're going to have to figure something out. It might be an early record for us, and maybe an abridged episode even.
Yeah, you just put something in place of that.
Yeah.
Because I think we might have done that. We've done something similar when I've gone to Fan Expo.
We should be able to still talk about Dynamite and then whatever else. We'll see. It might be a shorter episode next week, but we'll see. It
might just have to be, kind of.
But this one won't. I think we've got lots to talk about, so I imagine we should shift into it. You think?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll get into our first category every week that we discuss, and that is the week's wrestling news and rumors. All right, so I owe you 2 weeks of Dynamite ratings, right? Because we didn't have it because of the holiday, I think. So first of all, though, NXT averaged 656,000 viewers, up 21%. Earned a 0.24 in the key demo, up 60%. So second highest demo rating of the year. And so going 2 weeks ago, July 3rd episode of Dynamite, 688,000, up 1.2 and a 0.23, which was exactly the same as the week before. Up 4.6. And this week we got 691, so up measly 0.4%, but I like them around that 700,000. I imagine they're happy with that. And a 0.23, which was exactly the same. Highest audience total since June 5th, so kind of meaningless. A month in. Much. Basically 5 weeks ago or whatever. Anyways, I have a bit of news, not a ton, but you go ahead.
The first one I had was, I think, Damon Kemp has finished the WWE. They're not renewing his contract.
Correct. And that sort of explains the weird storyline, right? Because for weeks I've been going, he's not, it looks like he's leaving the group, but why are they turning him face? He seems the least likely to be an effective baby face. He's not at the point where he's done so much as a heel that they need to try him out before he moves up or whatever. Right. So
he's also not like a major player, so it's like they don't really have to do that right now.
So we wonder kind of if it's like they don't want the general public Googling this guy and his, not him, but his brother, right? And his shenanigans. And he's just not worth it, you know what I mean? He's not an undeniable dude. So if there's baggage, which there is, maybe it's enough baggage to be like, sorry, bud.
Right, it makes sense.
Yeah. And we talked about this too, that Stephanie Vaquer, off of the strength of her performance, I'm guessing at Forbidden Door, because what was it you said, she was suddenly off of stuff, and I was like, sounds like
CMLL, like for personal reasons.
And I was like, sounds like signed with AEW, so I was halfway right. She is signed elsewhere, but it's WWE.
Took her and Julia.
Apparently, we'll be doing house shows this weekend in Mexico, like right into performing.
I guess that makes sense in her neck of the woods.
Right, they're there, and she's signed.
Well, she's Chilean, though.
But I think she's been wrestling in
because
Mexico,
she's been in CMLL, right? So, yeah.
So I'm kind of torn because I thought she was awesome, hoping because I watch more AEW she would end up there. But if it's NXT, which is what you were sort of saying, I think
so, yeah, because Sean tweeted about it.
So I'll get to see her there, which is cool because I thought she looked awesome.
Yeah, and they'll be getting her and Julia, which I think are like the two last strong women's champions before Mercedes. So,
and that's a nice balance to all the young ones coming up, like Jordan and Ruka, who we'll talk about later. The ones that seem to be developing that started out there. It's good to have some experience mixed
for sure.
In. Yeah.
Tyler Bate of the New Catch Republic out with injury. He tore his left pectoral.
Here we go.
During, I think with the tag match, I think they had with Tank and Tank on NXT last week.
That was it, eh?
I think so. Because they said a tag match on NXT.
So
he's already undergone surgery. So I'll get there later.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Pete Dunne's running solo for
there it is.
Apparently there are plans to keep him on TV, so I'll take that.
Pete Dunne podcast.
I'll take that action.
That's on the bingo card.
That's true, Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne.
Well, especially back in the Butch days too.
True.
Yes. Not a week goes by where I didn't complain about that.
That's true.
Hey, I won, so I'll take it.
You did win. Victorious over the Fed.
Yeah.
So since I didn't watch all of TNA, I'll just mention it as news here. Izzy Dame was the one who answered Jordan Grace's Impact Open Challenge. So
I've seen Dempsey's been there lately.
I watched enough of Impact to see that match, but I was kind of doing other things, I think cooking, so I can't even comment if it was good or not. But again, this makes sense as the way this relationship has sort of laid out between, it's like WWE sends people that need seasoning and aren't very good to you, and you send us your big stars on the way back. So I don't know.
The NXT is hurting for.
I don't know who that's helping
star power
more, right? I feel like it's helped Hendry a ton.
I feel like it does benefit TNA a bit. So obviously with Hendry's popularity explosion,
he's huge right now.
I could see him winning at Slammiversary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could too.
You might as well capitalize right now because what's Moose doing?
Exactly.
And then, but I think on the whole, it really benefits WWE both ways because one, they get that popular star on their it's on their socials that's getting the views with Hendry, so they're benefiting from that.
That's true.
And they're getting bigger stars.
They're getting engagement online.
They're getting that, and they're also if they're sending people to get seasoned and that works out, they win from that too.
Yep.
They don't really lose much from that.
Other than in the previous regime, they would worry about giving oxygen to any other company, right? But if you can go let's look at the history of this company, they are no threat to us, right? They're not.
Yeah, I think picking TNA to work with is good because it's
so if you find some way to benefit from a relationship with them, then you do it.
Yeah, because there's no chance that TNA is doing anything.
Because previously it was they don't exist. We will not discuss them. They do not exist.
Yeah.
But anyways, your turn.
PWN reported that there have been talks of introducing women's US and IC titles.
Really?
I don't think that's necessary.
Wow, and you're the belt guy.
I don't think their division's strong enough to support one title on both shows and the tag titles, let alone two singles titles on both main roster shows. They have a lot of people. It's a deep pool, but not everyone's even world title ready. And I don't think we need more titles. We need more just title caliber people.
And the tag titles are
the tag titles. It's if we introduced 2 tag titles on each show for the men, right? And yeah, the women's tag titles are a joke. We don't even have enough to support that. And yes, NXT's already done this with a mid-card women's title, but for me, I think it serves a better purpose on NXT where
it does
developing people it's a developmental brand. It's prepping people for bigger title reigns. So I feel like that serves more of a purpose than main roster.
I really like it. I think now NXT you have the 2 tiers. The North American is you're a developmental person that probably we brought in, and then the main titles these are the seasoned veterans, right? Whether you came through their system or elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of like it.
And I think it would also be clear that the IC and US titles would go to Raw and SmackDown respectively, because heaven forbid the shows have varying titles and designs to confuse people. And if this comes to fruition, watch these belts be white strap versions of the men's ones, because why have originality?
I never know what belt is anything either.
It's not going to help. I'm banking on that later.
Oh, great. Oh, no. That's a nice little tease. Unfortunately for us, because we love him, it sounds like we'll be seeing less of Samoa Joe for a while. So that
sucks because that trio is just getting steam.
We're going to talk about it, the forklift through the wall spot that I thought was kind of silly.
Yeah, match was...
We'll get to that. It was a way of sort of writing him off for a bit because he's going back to film the second season of that, I think it's Twisted Metal series he's in.
Oh, I thought it was a movie.
I think he...
I'm not saying I'm right, I just thought it was a movie.
No, it's a series, apparently. And I think he's the live action actor, but not the voice, is what I heard. So that's interesting. Is he in a mask or something? Oh, okay. That makes more sense. So it starts filming later this month, runs through October, a few breaks in between, so he could be back for certain episodes, but sounds like less
Hollywood and them Samoans.
It's weird because he's in a fresh angle kind of that seems to be working. Yeah.
But, Hook gets written off with a fireball, and not written off, but he's out with a fireball, and Joe gets choke slammed on a pallet.
Right. And then
thrown through a wall.
The pallet gets driven through drywall.
And then he's dead.
And a couple pieces are laid across.
Darby got up and he got hit by a bus in real life.
So it was a very safe angle. They were
can we just stab him or something? I don't know.
There's precedent. TNA would do it.
Yeah, stab him with a fork. I don't know. Apparently Josh Alexander and wife were backstage at Money in the Bank, which makes sense because it's local for them.
Yeah.
But still, it's interesting.
The prohibited portal is open as well.
Yeah, too, yeah.
So they can go back.
Should have been at Heatwave for his boy.
That's true. He should have.
I want Alexander to win the TNA title at Slammiversary, and then we have the North.
I think they should then feud for those titles.
That's what I'm saying. You do the North
for
facing
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That would be amazing.
You could do them with the belts and then have them feud. I don't know. Or just have them feud.
Yeah, I would
either way.
Love to see it.
Alexander is the theme, so you get it either way.
Last thing I have is, did you hear that 2 NXT wrestlers will compete in Noah's N1?
What the hell?
So they have it sounds like their little G1. It's like a victory. It's a N1 victory tournament. So good, fun. Block A has one NXT person. And
Tavion Heights.
Correct.
Actually?
That's Block B.
Oh, let's go.
Wow, that was your first guess?
Yeah.
And then somebody else who's more of a veteran.
Dempsey?
No. Big guy. Haas, kind of.
Duke Hudson?
No. He was in Evolve. I'll give you that.
Oh, Briggs?
Briggs, yeah.
Briggs is a decent pick.
And Heights, I don't know. I think they see something in him, or people do, because he's got the amateur background, right?
Well, yeah, he's like Kemp without the baggage.
I think that's...
And more lively.
Has literally replaced him in that group over the last
They do
weeks.
look kind of similar.
So, anyways, I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting, because, I mean, like, it's kind of like what we have... I mean, not quite the same, but, like, there's Takeshita in the G1.
Right.
Or, they've been sending people to Noah a few times. Like, I think Nakamura... went there for Muda's retirement tour, didn't he? And
I
think
that makes
Styles
sense.
has a match coming up. I think Io Sky's doing something for Marigold, which is I just saw that as well. I think it's a new Stardom-esque promotion.
It's a fun era where people are all over the place.
And it's interesting. Well, and you also have people going to Bloodsport, like we were talking about last week with the Creeds and Baszler.
They seem to send WWE seems to send people regularly to Bloodsport now.
Yeah, and because they don't care about Baszler.
Well, that's true. Although she's in a new faction, which I'll get to later.
Yeah, but she might be stuck as a tag team guy, which...
seems so.
If she's playing second fiddle to Sonya Deville, so help me God.
It certainly looks that way.
That's ridiculous.
Because it was literally like, we called her.
That's stupid.
Because they need her.
In what universe is Sonya Deville better than...
Okay. The WWE universe, quite literally.
Like, how does that make sense ever?
I don't know.
Yeah, ever.
We'll talk about that in our Raw
Yeah.
notes.
Last one I had was Finn Balor signed a 5-year bumper extension, so that'll keep him until he's 47.
Hey, 47.
When he's nice,
That's
all old.
Nice and young. 47 sounds super young. Am I right?
Uh-huh.
So till 47. Okay, good for him.
I think he's 42 right now, and
keep getting them big checks
in the longest tag title run ever with JD McDonough.
Right.
I'm just projecting into the future.
Right. The entire length of that contract.
Yeah,
he'll be tag champion.
Exactly. They're gonna surpass Roman.
Renegotiate then.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so I think before we get into Dynamite, we've got to go back in time about a week to a couple of pay-per-views. I'll put them both together. I figured out how to get the sounds in between segments back, so that'll be back to normal. But I say we get into that now. We'll take a look at this previous weekend's Money in the Bank and NXT Heatwave. Okay, so we'll start out taking a look at Money in the Bank. Oh, I couldn't find it. If you get a chance while we're talking about this, if you can find what the actual runtime of the show was, because I added up. It was another one of those, remember how it was like this much in-ring action? Because I remember how much in-ring action it was, because I already added that up. But that would be quick anyways. But I couldn't find like complete runtime. Like 3.5 hours. What are we talking,
I just Googled it and you can give me a straight answer, so I'm going to see if I can...
Yeah, I know. So anyways, I'll start talking about it. The introductory package, and they did the same theme for Heatwave, right? It was like the heist, and it was like kind of animated stuff going around.
This one was really cool, though, I thought.
I thought it was cool looking.
It felt like an NXT one where they usually put in some effort into it, so I thought this one was actually...
You're right, it did feel like that, and they used the same motif for Heatwave as well.
No, wasn't that one? It was like they were selecting matches off the network or something like that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
It was different.
That was different. So the opener for this is the men's Money in the Bank match. So that's Jey Uso, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, Drew McIntyre. We had both chosen McIntyre to win this. I think I had an amazing weekend of predictions, by the way.
I think I was...
might have been almost flawless.
Who won? I think I was flawless on Money in the Bank.
I maybe missed one all weekend, I feel like. But we'll see. We'll find out. So for this one, Uso and Knight end up in the ring alone early. They both dive onto people on the outside. Drew gets a ladder, takes some people out with it before setting it up and climbing really early in this. It felt like right away we were like halfway through this somehow. Gable races up the other side, applies an armbar to Drew on the ladder.
Juge.
Sorry?
Juge.
Yes, it's a Juge. Which sort of leaves him lying outward, and then Andrade, remember, hits a springboard leg drop to Gable.
Yeah, that was cool.
As he's applying the hold, so that looked good. Mello hit a springboard clothesline to take Andrade off of a ladder, looked good. Andrade hit a Spanish fly to Mello off the second ropes onto a ladder lying on the mat, which looked pretty awesome. Jey Uso, sorry, this is editorializing now. Jey Uso has so much go away heat with me that I'm just not feeling any of these dramatic matchups that they are selling. I had facing off with Knight early and Drew later were supposed to be like a big deal, and I'm just like, I don't. And I think the crowd kind of cares, but I just don't. There's nothing he can do.
I don't buy him as this main event guy.
Me either. Gable with a deadlift German to Drew before catching Melo's springboard attempt and countering it with Chaos Theory. That was a cool little sequence. Michael Cole informs us that you need legs to climb, which I thought was a very helpful, very insightful observation. Knight with a neckbreaker to Gable onto a ladder lying on its side in the corner, I thought looked good. Drew powerbombs Gable onto a ladder leaning in the corner. We get a Knight blunt force trauma to Drew immediately, followed by an Uso splash as the baby faces are sort of teaming up here on Drew McIntyre. We get a Knight Uso yeet punch exchange on top of the ladder before Melo tips it over, dives onto Gable on the floor and hits nothing but net to Uso back in the ring. Hayes and Andrade on top of a tall ladder. Andrade hits a sunset flip bomb off the ladder to Melo onto another ladder, which I'm pretty sure he's done before, but it looks
to Balor in 2019.
It looks awesome every time, no doubt. Gable with a belly to belly.
He also did it to Murphy Buddy Murphy when they had that ladder match on Collision for his mask.
Oh, right. Yeah. Gable with a belly-to-belly overhead release to Knight over the ropes.
Onto a ladder bridge.
Onto a ladder spanning, the apron to barricade. Crazy. Gable grabs the briefcase, has his hands on it, but Jey Uso moves the ladder, and Gable's now just hanging off of the case, right? Like, just dangling from it.
He just goes full face plant.
He does. So he falls, lands face first on the mat, gets speared by Jey.
Yeah, Jey didn't do the edge spot. He's a lame-o.
Jey climbs up, but Drew throws a ladder right to knock him off.
Yeah, he just javelins a ladder at his face, which was pretty sick.
And hits a Claymore. Drew climbs up, grabs the case to win. These matches are known for being kind of long.
16 minutes.
Right. Like, no wonder
the women's felt longer, but the women's is only 20 seconds longer.
It's wild, right?
Yeah, I would have gone like another 5 at least.
So can you look up cage match ratings? If you just Google... And then you can talk about that after we give our ratings. Because I feel like when it comes to Heatwave, for sure, we're not as high as some people were.
People love that show.
I had fun.
I liked it.
Me too. Anyways, I thought this ladder match was fun, but it kind of lacked any drama for me. The major favorite ended up winning, right? That we both predicted. I didn't think there was any storytelling outside of the larger, like, five guys trying to win a briefcase. You know what I mean? I don't feel like anything was furthered or developed, really. Nothing happened with Gable and the Wyatt 6.
This one was 7.47 based on 479 votes.
Okay, so I'll be under that. Nothing with Gable and the Wyatts, right? They seem to just take a pause of torturing Gable, even though it was the largest stage, which feels a little inconsistent, but maybe they don't
I'd actually see the stage as the exact same size as usual.
Maybe they didn't want to bring Spooky into the PLE, which is fine. Essentially a spot fest to entertain fans before kind of like an inevitable finish, I thought. However, some of the spots were cool. The match was fun, but it felt short. Kind of so short, nobody really stood out. Like the Andrade spot's memorable.
I'd say Andrade and Melo.
The ladder being thrown was kind of memorable, right? Everything was at least solid, fun watch. I was hoping for better. I went 3.5 stars. So
I would agree. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Like it was fun, right? But I don't know.
It was good, but it could have been better.
I agree. A few thoughts on that one, eh? Intercontinental Championship match.
It's so short. I think you covered my bases.
I did. Sorry. Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. I just made a note. I don't remember now, but in the moment, not a fan of Braun's new theme.
I thought it was solid. Yeah. I don't like as much as his original one, but
I did like the story going into this. That basically the overpowering rookie is basically the favorite, right, against the veteran champion, which is kind of cool. After a brief Braun power display, Zayn's in control early. He hits a split-legged moonsault to Breaker on the floor. Rope running clothesline by Braun when he's
an Arabian press, actually.
Super foul, was it? Stops Zayn's run. Breaker takes over. We get a belly-to-belly overhead by Braun, a running knee to the seated Zayn in the corner. Another belly-to-belly out of the corner. Knuckle lock into a Zayn tornado DDT out of a corner as well. Sami tries a moonsault off the barricade. Breaker catches him, but Sami slips out, runs Braun into the ring post. Sami's attempt at that running, diving DDT across the corner is cut off by a clothesline on the floor. Looked pretty good.
Runs around too fast.
Yes. Braun's spear countered with a kick and a blue thunder bomb for 2. That's a complaint I've heard, is people don't like that his spear attempts were stopped by like little kicks by Sami. But
isn't that something people do though?
And if you're running super fast, it's gonna hurt. I don't know. Braun hits a Frankensteiner for a near fall. Sammy leapfrogs Braun like he did on Raw to get away from the spear, but Braun stops before running into the steps this time. Braun leaps onto the apron, I have a la redacted, and hits a leaping clothesline to Sammy into the announce table. Braun comes away from that, selling his knee a little bit. Sammy slides out of a gorilla press, hits an exploder into the corner, looked good. Haluva kick countered with I think it was a high knee. Then the gorilla press slam that Breaker hits. Follow-up spear countered with another kick. And one measly Haluva kick, and it's over. And this was under 14 minutes too.
13-15.
Right, like fast, right? So what were your thoughts? I'll let you go so I don't stomp on everything.
I thought it was solid, but like underwhelming. And like again, I feel like it could have go longer. It's like I don't want main roster PLEs to drag on forever, but I feel like now they're in too much of a rush every time.
Well, and almost it still drags on forever, I would argue. It's just
less
because
wrestling.
We're not watching it live. We skip but there's hours of stuff in between these matches, right?
Yeah. It's like, I don't know why you don't either add more matches or beef up these ones. And like, I've seen people complain about Zayn calling him like Hogan, because he'll like take an ass kicking and then somehow eke out the win.
He
but
does.
I don't think it's the same thing.
And one thing I noticed in this, maybe in direct comparison, was we love Braun, like we think he's really good, but I think his selling wasn't the best.
No, and
and being right beside Sammy, who's so good at it, right?
Yeah, and taking one Haluva kick is kind of disappointing. Like it does kind of shoo away Breaker in a way.
We did pick Sammy. I know I picked Sammy.
I think I did too, because I was on the fence.
So we both thought it was coming, but I wouldn't have been surprised if Braun had won.
Yeah, I could have gone either way, and I would like this to be more, I don't know, competitive, and then also have Braun like take more before he loses at least.
I was just gonna say he never looked like he sustained enough damage for one Haluva kick. This is Braun Breaker. The way you've presented him, right?
Yeah.
It should take more than this. I was hoping he would look more dominant and that like Zayn could still win through guile or whatever somehow, right? But I don't feel like they went all the way with that. So I said solid like you, but I went 3 1/4.
I don't even know if I liked it that much. Like I'll go
You're
3. Yeah.
3 stars. All right. Then we get
that also got 6.53 based on like around the same amount.
So that's right in line with me.
446.
So right in line with mine, right? If you double mine.
3 3/4 it says.
3 and 3.
Oh, from Observer.
That's high.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so they're on there too, so you can give both.
So the opener was 4.
4. Wow. Okay. I feel like we're tough markers a little bit.
More so with this too, because it's just I don't enjoy it as much.
I just know for me what a 4-star match is, right? And so I think people would say
Ghost Jam liked our post in real time.
Oh, nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that
I posted I think it was Black Arrow.
Oh, nice. I can't remember what I was saying.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It was something about Meltzer, wasn't it? Oh wait, no. Tough Grader.
Oh, because like I know what a 4-star match is. I think people would say to us,
well, and we
give a lot of 3.5, 3 3/4.
We're not exceeding the 5 stars either. It's different when you can break your own scale.
Like 3 3/4 is a good match.
Yeah. 4, we're starting to go into great. You know,
starting to be like I was engaged the whole time. This is super good.
5 stars, it's like Ospreay Omega.
This next match is not an example of that, unfortunately. It's the World Heavyweight Championship, at least for me. I shouldn't speak for you. We haven't talked about it. Rollins versus Priest. So both go for big moves early
Rollins
on.
in white gear, what up?
None land. True. We get a broken arrow in less than 2 minutes, and this is where I said to you, like, I feel like they're not getting much time.
15:48.
Because it's like broken arrow, jumping flatliner in the first 2 minutes. Like, we're already, which is fine. You can start out hot. I'm not complaining. And if you're only getting...
I mean, do you want to guess what the longest match was?
The main event? Yeah, that makes sense.
Bloodline.
So we get Rollins Sling Blade to turn the tide. And this is a recurring thing, right? They're sort of looking because they're assuming Drew is going to come down because he's called his shot. So there's a lot of checking the ramp and whatnot, right?
Because he's a dumb babyface.
Which does annoy me. Like, McIntyre's not... Anyways, we'll get there.
Oh, I didn't mention that segment from Raw and Highspot. Oh, I assume you did. So we'll
for sure I did.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah. Rollins, Swanton, Lion Salt combo, the commentary...
They would not stop mentioning how new it is. And I know for a fact he's been doing it for months now. Because I remember he busted out, like... I want to say...
I knew it was coming. My note even says...
I want to say he busted it out when he started as World Heavyweight Champion. So, like, over a year ago. And so it's relatively new. I will say that. Because in the span of his career, sure. But... to act like it's brand new and he's busting out new crap in his repertoire, I'm like, no,
it did
it's not. I literally, like, it's so not new that the springboard swanton's like in his 2K moveset.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? So it's literally in matches on the new 2K.
Actually,
I've been like hitting a springboard swanton and then trying to do a springboard moonsault after as fast as I can because I know it's in his repertoire. So like when I play as him, I try to hit that combo. So
how could you? It's brand new.
Exactly.
Just downloaded it.
It's not even that they mentioned that in passing. They like
they hit it.
They kept going at it. I'm like, it's not.
Yeah. Rollins stays in control until a headlock driver by Priest, like the old school.
Dean Ambrose. Yeah.
Right.
Good pull.
Spot of awkwardness, like a Rollins counter to Priest coming off the ropes. There was a little bit of what's going on there. Forgivable. Leads to Rollins running knee and a frog splash for a near fall. Priest seems to be quickly checking for Drew as he works Seth over in the corner.
They both were many times.
Leads to a buckle bomb in the opposite corner by Rollins, quickly followed by a sit-out power bomb by Priest for 2.
Liger bomb.
Michael Cole said the words Dean Ambrose, right?
I know. Like, I feel like this is also the new regime. They're not completely afraid to mention him. Like I saw
other people exist in other places.
A couple weeks. Well, it's not even like they're not mentioning Moxley because they did drop Mox's name in the Rollins Reigns feud. I think in early 2022.
Yeah.
So, but like they're just full. Like I think I saw a couple weeks ago they posted like a Shield highlight thing of their original run, and like they full on show and mention Dean Ambrose. 'Cause I think back when they were doing that feud, they just like kind of cut Ambrose from footage as much as they can. So it's interesting.
Either people are in the know enough to know the situation already, or they're so out of the know that when you use a different name, they don't know who you're talking about anyway.
Exactly. So there's really nothing to
doesn't really matter
lose from that, right?
Other than stupid pride, I think was the previous.
Yeah, and like not wanting to give any oxygen to anybody else, really.
Right. Strike exchange, some spinning kicks from Priest, couple counters lead to Rollins stomp for a near fall. Rollins.
It wasn't the best stomp, I thought.
I don't remember.
His foot kind of like raised his head and then he went down. Yeah. Because he was kind of running from behind this time.
Rollins talks trash to Priest as the crowd performs his theme. Priest fires up, hits a razor's edge or whatever. Does he have a name for that? I don't know.
No.
Or the ego's edge.
That's ego.
I say, what story are they trying to tell about Rollins? Graves goes on and on about being Rollins' best friend, and maybe Rollins is too old and has too many injuries. And I'm like, where is this coming from?
I mean, yeah, he has too many injuries, but
are you shoehorning this? I felt really like stapled onto this at the last minute.
I guarantee you it's simply because they were in NXT at the same time.
And I watch Raw, so it's not like it's like, well, you don't watch Raw. They made reference to it. I don't think they did.
I feel like we would have known.
Anyways, suplex, counter, Falcon Arrow, and the ref stops the count.
Priest did not kick out.
So apparently Drew's music was supposed to hit there.
But that like...
And then the referee looks up and stops the count.
But he just...
Because music is very powerful.
In wrestling, it is. It is
canon.
True. That is true.
Super powerful.
It has been established.
Because in the moment, I thought maybe Priest actually was out for a second.
That's what I thought. He looked like he got knocked
possible.
Loopy.
Who knows?
I guess. But...
So Drew's music does hit. That's why it's suspicious, right? It's right after that. He comes out, cashes in, which I think is so... We go on and on about how dangerous it is in triple threats and blah, blah, blah. And like people get upset when matches get made triple threats because now they can lose without... And I know they've taken damage and that's going to be the defense. But he looks dumb cashing in for a triple
successfully.
Threat. Right. And I guess that's the callback too. But at the end of the day...
I think it's
strategically that's dumb.
The reason I think it's dumb is because he called his shot already.
That too, and you
didn't have to be beholden to that. No one was beholden to that.
Baby face with Punk situation. You're technically a heel,
and even if he is a baby face, then dumb baby face.
Right.
Like
so, Priest stops Drew from hitting a Claymore. Punk attacks Drew, chokes him with a cable, hits him with a chair, and then my note says, "I'm more editorializing." And there, folks, is your babyface champion, babyface in this story.
It doesn't make sense,
right? Belt shot by Punk, south of heaven from Priest, and it's over. What did you say, 14 and something?
15:48.
So almost 16 minutes. Another pretty short one. Your thoughts on this one?
Even shorter if you count the cash in as like a separate chunk.
True. Yeah, I guess so, right?
Because the cage match has it listed as
more like
Priest beats McIntyre and Rollins, so that's encompassing the whole
probably.
shebang. Yeah, right. Like, I thought it was a fine match. Like, honestly, again, I just don't think the Priest title run's working for me. I don't care for his promos by himself. From what I've ever seen, like McIntyre's the more interesting part to me. Rollins, I think, is more interesting to me.
Almost, you know how there's sometimes those wrestlers
he's
that almost everything.
He'd be a good mid card champion.
He has the look, got that right.
I don't know if he even has the look because people call him bisexual Undertaker all the time.
He can almost talk. He can almost work really well.
I liked him in NXT, but it's just I don't know. It's just not working.
He's not a main title guy.
No, and I think this has been a fine test run, but it's not something I feel the need to revisit.
No.
And personally, for me, I think they put put your eggs in the wrong basket or something like that.
Put all their eggs in one basket,
or something like that. Because you could have given you could have given the LA Knight the briefcase when you gave it to Priest,
and
I think that would have worked out way better. Because Knight's never been accused of being a ring general, but he's got the character and the promo work where Priest doesn't. He's got stuff to make up for it.
Yes.
And they still haven't given Knight anything.
He's a sports entertainer.
They've given Priest tag titles multiple times and the world title, and I think they bet on the wrong horse.
And we're not even huge Knight guys, but he fits their profile.
Absolutely fits what they want, especially
but he's old.
Under the old regime.
I think.
So is Priest. Priest is not youthful.
No, he's not.
Priest is not young. That's what the people were saying in Money in the Bank last year. It's like, oh, they don't want to push Knight. He's too old. Priest is not young either. He's not. So it really doesn't make sense. And so I thought this was like, they've had multiple outs. Like they could have given it to McIntyre here. They could have given it to McIntyre a month ago. But they're obsessed with running the same stupid finish with Punk.
Yes.
This is the second month. It's basically they've done the same thing twice. And why is Punk allowed to be here and cost the matches with no repercussion? Which I think they got fined, but that means nothing to Punk at this stage in his career. I guarantee that means nothing.
Yeah.
In kayfabe and in real life.
Because he got fined $25,000, and he's even like money well spent.
Exactly.
Or whatever, but he doesn't
and
care.
What about for when he cosplayed referee? Like, who let him do that?
Right.
Why does another referee get to make that call? Why didn't she? Jessica Carr, the female referee.
Yeah.
Why didn't she go out and do it instead of letting some guy is biased?
You didn't know why he wanted the jersey.
Referee? That's bull. It's just like, this is your baby face.
Yeah.
This is stupid. Like, and this is an absolute waste of the contract. This is almost as bad as the Money in the Bank fiasco of 2022.
Led to a great interaction on Raw, though.
It did, but like, it's just so dumb. Like, why did you waste the briefcase like this? Like, I almost would rather you don't give it to Drew then.
You gave it to a strong heel, which they love, to have the strong heel chase for almost a full year. And
to me, it's like
tease cash-ins and weasel
they
out.
know they're going to give the belt to Gunther, and they don't want anyone to interrupt that.
Feels like
so they just want to discard the briefcase as fast as they could.
That's probably a fair take.
Which is stupid. Because like McIntyre could hold the briefcase for however long, and Gunther could still get a decent run. And then if you don't want to go full on with Gunther yet, guess where your out is? Then you could have McIntyre cash in mid-match, and he could win it. Gunther could be blameless.
I will say they've built Punk and Drew to be big enough to not need a title at all. I think that's the right play.
I think they have done that, but I don't think they've done it well. Like they've given it stakes, but they haven't done it in a smart manner. Because again, why is Punk allowed to do all this?
That's fair.
We've said this already, but the acts are not proportional.
No.
Like McIntyre's just been talking shit online for months, and then Punk cost him matches for the main title on the show.
He stole
3
a
times.
50-cent bracelet.
He stole a bracelet, but Punk cost him his hometown. Oh, McIntyre beat him up.
Still not even
in his hometown once. Yeah, like so. No. Punk cost him a Mania, which was stupid, but like. Okay, but then he cost him in his hometown, and McIntyre beats Punk up in his home in Chicago once, and Punk's like, oh, now it's not even.
Yeah.
If anything, it's still uneven in McIntyre's favor. Like
right.
It's just it makes zero sense, and I know we're straying away from the match, but like it's just dumb.
So I gave the match 3.5 stars. I thought it was on the better than average.
3.25,
but nothing amazing.
4.9 based on 450 votes, and
4.9.
3 3/4 from the Observer.
Wow, that's a big difference. Right? But who knows? I mean, there's the sample size is decent on
the rating for the women's ladder matches, something.
So Money in the Bank by the numbers segment followed
I feel like they should have started with that, because usually the Rumble, don't they do that earlier on?
It followed a lengthy Gunther video too. So I put usual well-produced filler,
Too many videos.
Yes, too many. Then we get the women's Money in the Bank match. It's Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Zoe Stark. This match stole the show for me. I thought this was pretty easily the best thing on this show, I think. So right away, everyone leaves Green in the ring alone, and because they know she's doing this afraid of heights thing. So she has a ladder but won't climb it, which is, I like the way that comes full circle with the end too, because she goes from being afraid of heights to trying to conquer that fear, and it not working out super well for her. EO dropkick Stratton into a ladder in the corner, and then running double knees as Stratton's up against the ladder in the corner. Lyra comes in, backdrops EO onto the ladder. Lyra fisherman suplex to EO onto a ladder. Like, there was non-stop stuff in this, I felt like.
Well, I mean, they only have less than an episode of TV, like regular show.
That's true. This one didn't go long either, so there's a lot.
Like I said, it was 20 seconds longer than the men's.
So what's that, like around 17 or
16,
something?
50, around 16.
Crazy. Stark with a springboard dropkick out of nowhere to stop Lyra's run. Stark catches Lyra and Samoan drops her on the edge of a ladder. Zoe then misses whatever she was going for from the top. Naomi with Thez presses her onto a ladder, then lands that split-legged moonsault she does to Stark.
I want her to hit a rear view with a ladder.
Yeah, there you go. Stratton with a smooth transition into an Alabama slam to Naomi on the ladder. That was
impressive, like just the quickness she did that with.
The crowd is chanting Tiffy time. She's got something right, even though she's a heel. Like, people love her.
Graves, remember how popular she was in the chamber match in Australia?
Yes, huge. Graves is defending a quiet crowd multiple times that I don't think is that quiet. As
it's not like that bad, and that happens sometimes. Hasn't stopped them from not caring like a million times or pipe stuff in then.
And then Stratton hits a swanton to the rest out on the floor. Green works up the courage to climb a ladder, but Io hits her with another ladder. Lyra gets trapped upside down on a ladder, and Io stomps her. Lyra with a tarantula German to Io off of the ladder looked kind of cool. Naomi's doing splits across two ladders and manages to DDT Zoe Stark still. Green stops Naomi from getting tables, runs her into the steps. Green and Stratton join forces to set up a couple tables at ringside, right? As Grave defends how slowly they get it done. They're not used to dealing with tables or whatever it was.
I remember.
It wasn't even, again, it wasn't the worst, like, wrestler versus table.
I was thinking Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville at SummerSlam 2020. That was awesome. Mandy versus table.
This one wasn't that bad. Elaborate ladder setups in the ring, like, kind of a waste of time if you really look at this match. But anyways, we get a Starks decapitator to Stratton into one of the ladders, right? A one-armed powerbomb to Lyra off of a ladder onto a ladder bridge. Green kind of gets the unprettier to Naomi on a ladder that Graves calls ugly as hell, which was pretty accurate. Io and Stark battle on top of a ladder right at the case, and then it's a Michinoku driver off of that very tall ladder onto a ladder bridge from Io to Zoe Stark.
That was pretty crazy. Io did some stuff here.
Yeah, she did. Chelsea is up on a really tall ladder, almost unhooks the case, but Stratton has climbed the ladder right beside, pushes Green off the ladder through
big fall through the tables. Amazing.
Through both, and you could see her sort of get her arms out of the way too, to not like, it's like, I think she's done this spot before somewhere. Anyways,
probably.
Through two tables on the floor.
Nailed it.
Amazing. Stratton grabs the case for the win, like we said, about 17 minutes.
Absolutely the right decision.
Both picked that. I thought this match was pretty terrific.
It was definitely entertaining.
It'll be a finalist for Women's Match of the Year, probably, for me, because there's nothing that's blown me away this year.
I'll note it, yeah, because that's probably smart.
These women went all out in this 17 minutes, and some really memorable spots. Like, again, I don't think the storytelling and world building or whatever was amazing, but I felt they did a lot more than the men did this year. So I thought Lyra, Io,
with the same amount of time, basically.
Stratton, Stark all had super impressive showings. This ended up, I thought, being a gem on this show. I think the right person won. Stratton can do a lot with this case, right? It really suits her character. I heard somebody, I wish I could give them credit. I always say that, but I don't remember things. That she should have, like, if this is her case, she should have a purse strap on it and wear it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Right? So not my idea, somebody else's. So I thought kudos to Green and Stark for the insane spots they did. Io took a lot of stuff as well. And I love that Green's huge spot led directly to the finish. It makes it even more memorable. And also, because it started out with her being afraid of a ladder and no one even thinking they needed to deal with her. Really fun match. I thought a lot better than the men's. I gave it 4.25. Like, I had fun watching this match.
That is funny because that's what Observer gave it.
Did they? So I agree.
I'll go.
You're always a little behind, I feel like.
I'll go 4.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's good. I don't know. It could have been a little more to get a 4-star, but it was entertaining.
I thought a lot of memorable stuff packed into 17.
7.81 for the cage match.
So a bit lower than what I had. But yeah, you enjoyed it as well, I think, right? Would you say match of the show?
Yeah, it's not really close.
Yes. Then we got Tiffany Stratton backstage with Trish. I thought it was a pretty funny interaction. It's basically Trish trying to give her advice, and Stratton essentially calls her old, right? And it goes from there. Then we get the main event. It's the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, Tonga Loa's there as well.
Camacho.
He botched his only thing he had to do in this match.
He's not in the match. And I saw some, because I was watching Stash Clubs, they had the hot takes video.
Yeah.
And someone said that Fatu's not interesting, or like he doesn't make things interesting. I'd argue, and I think he's the only one I care about.
He outshines all of them.
Oh, he does. Their fears are absolutely validated, because everything he does interests me. Like, just because his viciousness is actually frightening, just because he looks like a savage and he acts like a savage.
Is next level.
His facial expressions and his mannerisms are just like perfect. Like he's the new Umaga, if that's what they want. It was never Solo. It's him. He's crazy. He's crazy looking. He acts what he's supposed to be perfectly.
He feels like he's barely in control, right? Like
he's like he just like, I don't know. There's just something about him. It's just, and just like all the facial expressions he makes, he just looks like a madman. And like,
he does.
How like the ferocity he goes with, kind of like Breaker. Like it's actually scary sometimes.
So they're taking on Rhodes, Orton, Kevin Owens. So neither of us, speaking
New
for
Legacy?
you and me, are super interested in this match.
Oh, I don't care. It's one of those like tag matches. It's what plagued Fastlane last year. It's just those tag matches with no stakes.
Only Fatu interests me on one side, and the other team seems cobbled together. I don't watch SmackDown, so it just feels like
pretty much
for a main event on a pay-per-view.
Orton and Owens have been fighting the Bloodline for a decent bit, right? Since remember they had that Street Fight Backlash that was decent when Camacho debuted.
Yeah.
And then Solo attacked Cody after his match with AJ and Scotland because title.
Right.
So Cody's just here by proxy of the title.
They got to get him on the show.
Just because title.
Yeah.
Solo want belt.
I have Cody's wearing a gross jacket. Thank God we can skip his and Orton's entrances because they're really long. Great reaction for Owens. When he gets in, he dominates Tama Tonga. Immediate draping DDT to Fatu. I kind of hated that. I thought he shouldn't be taking big offense right away.
Real soon.
But he pops right back up as Orton's trying to do his like RKO taunt. And then Fatu hits a Samoan drop, but tags out right away. So I was like, oh, they're kind of giving us a taste, and then he's gone. Heels isolate Orton until he can tag Kevin Owens, who cleans house. Bloodline take control of Owens. Things slow down. Solo hip attack. Then Fatu tags in and does it way better. Remember, they shouldn't have done them back to back.
He killed
because his
Owens on that. Oh my god.
Yeah. Fatu runs over Owens with a back elbow.
He's got it.
Even his back elbow, right? The viciousness and the speed he comes at it looks awesome.
He's and we were saying he's definitely trimmed up.
He has. He's way smaller than when I saw him in MLW.
Yeah. He's like lost 14 pounds of muscle.
More isolation of Owens in the corner. Tonga Loa pulls Orton off the apron to stop an Owens tag.
Whom?
What's his face?
Camacho.
Cody tags in, takes out Solo with the power slam before taking out the other two Bloodline. Dives onto Solo on the floor. Then Tonga Loa, who slams his head against the announce table. Fatu comes over but gets backdropped over the barricade. Solo spears Cody when Cody gets back in the ring for a near fall. Ref gets taken out by Solo. Cody hits a crossroads, but there's no ref. Owens frog splash to Solo, then an RKO. Cody clears the announce table. They set up for a shield bomb, but Fatu...
Which he actually called, too. I'll never forget first time he called the shield bomb in 2017.
So creative.
I thought it was so dumb.
Stroke of genius.
I was a child, and I still thought it was stupid.
It's true. Fatu comes in to stop. The ref gets taken out again. Giant prime bottle to Fatu, and KO hits a splash to Fatu through the announce table.
That did look pretty cool.
The audio is buzzing briefly after that. Tonga Loa can't even hit a low blow. He takes an RKO, and so does Tama Tonga.
Yeah, so Owens has regular Tonga up for
regular size Rudy. Right?
Nice. Oh yeah, he's got Tama up for like a package pile driver, and like Camacho's supposed to come in from behind and like low blow him.
Misses.
And like he like misses at first, and he kind of bonks Tonga's head, and then he kind of hits it. It was like he kind of botched his debut too, so this is why he's not wrestling. It's like, why did we bring him in?
Because he fits the bloodline.
Does he really though? Because he's the Tongan. Like
if they want him to.
Okay, that's fair. But like Rikishi's got a fourth child. We could bring him. Like that
couldn't be worse.
It can't be worse than Camacho.
He's
7. It's like
he's 7 years old.
And honestly, I didn't know he was this bad because like I never really watched much Guerrillas of Destiny, but I thought they were like, well, from what I heard, I thought they're supposed to be some great tag team.
mind.
Tama can go.
I don't mind Tama. Tonga Loa has never been impressive. Never.
I mean, he did have, I think, the first takeover match ever. So
yeah, he did. Solo with a spike to Orton. Cody with 2 crossroads to Solo before Fatu hits a twisting thing off the top and an impaler to Cody. He holds Cody. Solo hits the spike. Ref gets thrown back in the ring. Counts the fall. You said 24 minutes, something like that?
24 or something.
I don't know, man. This kind of feels like the budget version of the Bloodline to me.
We're all just waiting for Roman to come back, and we're going to do the whole Civil War thing, and it'll be cool and whatever. We're all just waiting for that. We know what we're in for.
I thought that, as a trios match, it was totally fine, right? But it's just...
It was fine, but you're begging for me to care here.
Fatu looked good. Solo took a million finishers. And Fatu came to the rescue sort of thing.
Yeah, Solo kind of, as a tribal chief, looks like a little bitch.
A little, right? And Fatu ended up looking good.
I buy Solo as the Bloodlines guy as much as I buy Priest as champion, and that's not a ringing endorsement.
Solo's the perfect, silent, complimentary piece.
That's why he was the good enforcer. But, and he did get Umaga comparisons, but like I said, that's Fatu. And because Fatu is a mad lad, and Umaga was special, and I think Fatu is special.
I don't think Jacob would be a leader either.
I think
as much as I think he's awesome.
Because he lead that faction in... Didn't he have Contra in MLW? So he could do it.
Contra? Whatever it was.
I think so, yeah. Because he can talk. So I disagree. I would much rather have Fatu lead than this. Actually, no. I don't want to lead this because Camacho sucks.
I thought this was a good trios, but very different from what we see on Wednesdays.
Yeah, it was fine.
I would have liked it better if they set up a story and stuff. I thought
they did, but I don't care.
A good but not amazing main event. I went 3 3/3 actually. I liked it.
That's far too generous. I'm gonna go 3 1/4 because I don't care.
Fair enough. What were the ratings elsewhere?
For the I just closed it too. I'm so dumb. I'm pretty sure it was like yours.
Yeah. I thought it was a good match. It's just I don't care about the story, so it can't ascend into
all right, we're back.
The peak levels, you know?
Yeah, 3 3/4. Called it. And 5.83 for the votes.
Ooh, much lower. So I did math. This puts it at a B pay-per-view with the women's Money in the Bank match. Money in the Bank, bringing up the average.
That's the country version.
I thought nothing was bad, but that match was the only one where I'm like, if you didn't see the show, you should go see that. So a B, almost a B minus, I would say.
B minus. I don't care.
All right. So let's move into Heatwave, where we went.
We can talk about the store first, I guess. Right?
Everything just worked out for us, right?
Oh, it was a good night.
I
was no longer diseased either.
Yeah, true. Your 9 million mosquito bites had sort of gotten better.
We're starting to dissipate, yeah.
And just traffic on the way down was reasonable. We got our parking really fast, which is sometimes a challenge. And then we walked to dinner. They had a merch shop set up at where we go, and we've talked about Smash Wrestling
exactly
before.
The same spot too, because they had
where the ring is,
exactly where it is.
So they had their merch shop there. So we have our favorite parking spot in a downtown hotel, and it was like a 4-minute walk.
Which we only use for parking now, since my aunt screwed us.
Yeah, that's right. If she listens, she knows what she did.
You know what you did.
Yeah. So we parked there, so everything was no more than a 10-minute walk, right? So we could go grab merch, including this.
Yeah, so I got a few shirts. Yeah. I got Wyatt 6. I got this gnarly looking Fiend one with one of the concept Fiends, and then I got Jacob Fatu's,
which I wanted. They did not have any.
Yeah, we'll have to order one for you because it looks sweet. And I got this weird Sami Zayn shirt. It's got a pattern all over, and it's got designs on the side. I'm not sure what the deal was, but the figures were disappointing.
For a wrestling shirt, it's different.
They only had basics, and one of them was carrying cross. So get out.
Right.
And then so they had replica belts there. They had, I think, some of the current ones, and then there was this limited edition Undisputed Money in the Bank. I think 1 to 20, but it's 600 something. And they had these mini belts here, so it comes in this.
It's nice
case thingy. Which is cool, and then you open it, and I'll keep it open for the
if you will. It's our first unboxing on FNS.
I guess. Well, technically, I threw out the box, but it's like a mini world heavyweight title. It's like
of the same quality, so
it's
super
quality,
good leather and heavy,
and so it's it looks like that. And it's got special side plates, and it's got this on the back of the strap.
So that was his.
Maybe I'll send you the picture and then you can put it up later. I have
compromise of not buying a full size belt was to start with that, which is pretty cool.
Do that, and then it's just there for the rest. But yeah, so we got and it was a super nice setup and everything. And
it's just honestly nice to be able to buy all the stuff you want, walk back to the car before you go in. You're not already in the stadium, arena, whatever, so you don't.
We didn't even get a chance to look at the NXT merch, which is fine because I don't think there's much I need anyways.
So then we cruised right into the show at 6:30. took our seats. Basically, the only match of the pre-show was about to start. Like, everything just flowed. Seats were nice. One side was empty. If people didn't know this, for all you people like AEW can't draw, well, NXT, the entire
hard
side,
not the hard cam side, but the side with the hard cam,
right,
was like nothing,
black,
basically.
like tarped off, and
some even like the floor seats for a while, it was looking pretty.
Yes, the floor to our right, to like
to the left of the stage, I guess.
Stage left,
yeah,
was pretty empty
for quite a little while, yeah.
But anyways,
I got videos of all the entrances, and then like I think one match clip from the tag match.
Yeah, and so on this show there was stuff in between each match to the point of annoyance for me. Right?
Yeah, they played the
Rock thing was annoying.
That they played that at Money in the Bank too, because we watched Money in the Bank after.
We did
the whole weekend, so I was like, oh my, because like when we're there live, obviously we had no choice but to watch it, and it was like 2 minutes of The Rock talking about the lead up to Main Event.
It was for all of it, basically.
Yeah, it was the behind the scenes thing, because they used to do that on the network. It was W24 or whatever, and they do it for each year's Mania, right? But that was nice because it was a full network thing, and you could just ignore it.
He came across so heely to me.
I guess because he was the heel.
It was kind of like, oh, Rock, you're the best, and it should be all about you. And now I was like, I know but we should make it about Cody this time, because
we all know,
even though I'm the bigger star, I'm so magnanimous.
We all know he didn't want to. It's just everyone like kind of coerced him into it, because no one wanted, like, because the way they went about that was stupid. Because like the one thing that they said was right is that any other time you do that, Rock Roman is like what everybody wants, but they did it the stupidest way possible.
So we rolled in right for the pre-show match, which was Petrovic and Grace, being Canadian. Can they coexist, but both Canadian.
Yeah.
And Petrovic was wearing,
I think it said We the North on her ass.
Right. Against Jasmine Nix and JC Jane.
Who are from elsewhere.
She have 2 masks.
She did take one off and put it on the post. I think she took off the Cody one.
So my only notes, pretty basic match with the crowd really behind Grace, who benefited from a hot tag in the middle of this somewhere.
It was really weird seeing her, like, baby facing.
It was. Nix goes for a roll up. Grace pulls her hair from the floor to reverse the roll up, allowing Petrovic to get the pin after about 7.5 minutes. Super basic match, but it was a way to get Petrovic and Grace a win in front of the home crowd, right? And Grace's facial expressions and stuff, she's really fun. So
yeah, she does do well. I think her offense needs some work, because that elbow from the middle rope to the back is super lame. But like, this got a 5.75 based on 64 votes.
I didn't even rate it. It's a perfectly
7 minutes 40 seconds
acceptable, like,
it was fine
pre-show match.
It's a nice way to get some hometown people on without like much weight to it. So I think it's totally fair.
So main show proper, it's Oba Femi Wesley. Now I don't know if this came across better on TV or what, because people love this match.
I found it disappointing.
In a good mood. It's not like we were, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like this is honestly one of the matches I was looking most forward to, because I know both of them are pretty reliable.
So I don't know.
Oba, like relative to his experience, I think is pretty reliable.
He is.
Granted, it's been in multi-man matches, so that might be the kicker.
So Lee early on slips on the ropes here, right? A couple of awkward moments
botches,
in this throughout, I thought. Femi flings Lee into the ring apron at one point.
Oh, wait, no, that's not what I was thinking.
And he ends up like halfway under the ring, right? And barely able to make the 10 count. That looked good. We get big slaps to Lee, numerous backbreakers, and a shoulder breaker from Femi. Femi counters a Hurricane Rana into a powerbomb. Lee does hit a cardiac kick for a near fall. Femi then blocks a couple other attempts at the cardiac kick, throws Lee, and hits his basically finishing powerbomb after about 16
Remember
minutes.
There's that one like F10 where he absolutely chucked him? That looked crazy live, just because see how high he got. Like, that was insane.
So there were a couple of impressive moves from Femi. Lee had some nice flurries, but I thought Femi was like, I would almost call it beyond deliberate. It took me out of it a little bit. Like,
yeah, and I feel like they could have done the David Goliath thing a lot better. Like, I don't know, I liked it, but honestly, it just disappointed me more than things. I was just expecting more.
And I don't think they want to push Femi past about 15 minutes at this point.
That's fair.
It's too short to tell the really good David and Goliath story.
I guess so, but I don't know. I still feel like they could have done better.
But at the final portion leading to the finish, I thought was stronger. I thought like solid, but underwhelming. It got
plagued by some slip-ups, too.
I went 3.25 stars.
That's what Observer gave it. Okay. I'd agree.
That's the first one I've seen kind of in line with me.
I'd agree.
Everyone else,
I think he agreed with you on the Money in the Bank event, I'm pretty sure.
And Cage Match, I think, had this a lot higher. Now.
Oh, yeah, 8.5 1-7
Yeah,
based
that's
on
wild
384
to me.
votes. No.
That's like a plus 4-star match. No. NXT North American Women's Championship match. I will say you were very pleasantly surprised by this. I think
it was totally solid.
As much as the previous one underdelivered, this kind of overdelivered for
you.
Right?
I would say so.
So it's Kalani Jordan
as someone who's not a fan of either of these people
against Sol Ruca, and it's also babyface, and no turn, nothing came out of this. They ended up.
I kind of thought based on the way they're celebrating, Sol Ruca was gonna.
Me too,
and especially because everybody turns heel.
For it, right?
Everybody turns heel, like Henley has lately.
If you're a wrestling fan, it felt like a moment where they could do it. I didn't want them to, or think they should.
Women turn heel so much too,
right?
Because like Statlander did too recently. Like
yeah,
Perez, like
right.
I can keep going,
right? Lots of cartwheels and handstands to avoid moves early on, and I'm not saying
Ospreay. I think it was Ospreay or Ricochet who said it was a female version of both of them, and it was like I thought that was kind of funny.
And I'm not being critical, like it's impressive, right?
It was decent here, and it felt like a decent way to incorporate both their backgrounds, which are pretty similar. So like I don't love when they incorporate that unnecessarily into offense, but when it's like they're kind of evading each other and like they're similar, so it was okay. Like it worked well enough for me.
And this is where I sort of noticed that there's a lot of weird heel face dynamics on this show, right? Like even going to the pre-show, you've got 3 heels and a face,
but then one of the heels is a face.
Femi's kind of a tweener, so I don't know.
Wesley's a face.
So these are both baby faces, right? Even Fraser Axiom and Chase U,
face,
all baby. So interesting. But anyways, sorry, I noticed at this point. So Lani hit her tornillo to the floor. Ruka hit a 450 clothesline.
That was kind of cool.
That was pretty wild. Ruka with a PK on the apron and a springboard moonsault to the floor. Second rope Rana, split-legged moonsault. Kalani retains in under 12 minutes. I'm obviously underselling some of the stuff in the middle. I just went on a couple of highlights. So not very long, right? But
not crazy
you
long.
Go ahead.
I thought they did pretty well. Like I thought everything flowed decently, and like it didn't look like too much like they didn't know what they were doing. I feel like there wasn't a ton of negative space, which was solid. And like some of the stuff they pull off is kind of cool.
I think like it was clearly a bunch of it was choreographed, but that's not a criticism either.
No, I thought they put together a pretty solid effort,
and they performed it well. There weren't mistakes.
Yeah, they did it well. Yeah, like unlike the opener, there wasn't as many mistakes. And I thought like it was a decent, just like basically they're both really similar. They're evenly matched, and like
right.
Jordan kind of eked out the win here. And so I thought like it wasn't an amazing match or anything, but like given who was involved and what I expected from it, I thought it was pretty good. Because I honestly, this is one of those matches I didn't care about. And if anything, I would say it's the better of the 2 women's matches on the show, which is surprising.
100% agree.
And
that's
so
not what I expected.
Observer gave it 3.5.
I did too.
I'll agree with that, honestly.
I gave it, that's funny.
Was pleasantly surprised with that. 7.99 based on the cage match.
That's high.
It's a little high.
That's
but
4 stars.
I did enjoy it, surprisingly. So
me too.
Solid effort from them.
I thought they put a lot into that 12 minutes. All of it was pretty clean, like impressive athletically. They're starting to wrestle more too. So I was quite happy.
Yeah, I was worried it'd be too many like Restholds or the basic offense I've seen on like the level up matches and stuff. And I thought that was kept to a solid minimum.
And this is what the North American women's is about, I think, right? They're perfect examples of this.
I think so, yeah. That's why I think it's like serving a good purpose. And for the main roster, they don't even get all their belts on the show now.
Right.
So there's really no need for more. That's what I'm saying. Like I think 5 matches is too little.
They feel the need to fill it with stuff, which is annoying.
If you're gonna fill it with so much filler, go 6 or 7 matches.
And less filler.
Yeah.
Then we get a Gallus vignette, and the only reason I bring it up is because
it is actually fresh. So it's like, and it was furthering a story. So it was actually worth
really
something.
Hard to understand through the arena speakers.
I think I understood.
I was struggling to get what it was. And then we get the NXT Tag Team Championship match. It's Fraser and Axiom to Fraxium. Taking on Chase U, which is Chase and Duke Hudson in this iteration. But Osborne and Thea Hale are there.
In different colored shirts.
And we noticed that Hale gets her own camera operator.
Yeah.
Like just trained up because she's so...
It makes sense.
Energetic and over the top that there's a guy just filming her the whole time to
which
get
sounds weird out of context.
Yeah, it does. And I think that we maybe missed a vignette before this where Fraser had issues getting into the building and Axiom was annoyed because, again, it's this whole like... You're spreading yourself too thin. And
I
going
feel like
for
they
other
should have
titles.
shown us that though. Usually they play them on the screen.
Maybe we didn't see it. I heard someone else talk about it.
I don't know. It's weird. It's not like we didn't get up.
No, we didn't leave our seats at all. Holds encounters between Axiom and Chase to start. Hudson with a gutbuster and a senton to Axiom.
Chase looks ridiculous being the only one just in a hoodie and like the fact that he hasn't had ring gear yet still it baffles me.
He's a professor, okay?
But like Duke even just wrestles in his shirt and trunks. That makes sense. Do that. Or like shirt and tights.
Remember Duke with it was like a gut buster, and then that was a senton on.
That was really
both
cool.
At the same
Yeah,
time.
it was like a gut check while doing a senton. Yeah.
Axiom and Fraser with dives before a frog splash from Axiom and a 450 from Fraser. Hudson hits a Stratisfaction, which I guess he's been doing lately. Top rope Spanish fly and Phoenix splash by the champs. But Chase breaks up the pin
by stepping off of Fraser and hitting a destroyer on Axiom.
Awesome.
That's the clip I got.
That's an awesome spot.
It was sweet. Yeah, the crowd really
so smooth.
Everyone popped for that one.
Was
that
not
awesome.
Expecting that.
No,
it
was really cool.
Chase goes up top. Fraser leaps up, hits a superplex, chasing the dragon by the champ.
Kind of like a super kick variant, though.
Yeah, it was. Fraser dives onto Hudson on the floor to take him out. Axiom hits the golden ratio to Chase. Champs retain after almost 17 minutes. I picked this as well.
Yeah.
This
one was
my
super fun.
Favorite match to this point on the show, right?
Yeah, it's in contention for my favorite match.
Yeah. And they did further the story because there was some miscommunication, right? Like he
did kick him.
Fraser kicked Axiom, I think, twice throughout this match.
At least once. I don't remember.
And they still retained and seemed all happy with each other afterwards. So we'll see where that goes.
Mm-hmm.
I think Duke Hudson has a really effective hot tag. He got a chance to showcase that.
It's a little basic, but yeah.
But that's his thing, right? He's kind of the big power-ish guy. He's not going to do anything too crazy. Like Stratisfaction's as risky as he's getting, basically. Axiom and Fraser are super entertaining.
They're so great. I love them.
I went 3 3/4 stars for this.
You could get them against ABC or Rascals, and that'd be awesome.
I thought really fun tag match, 3 3/4.
I'll agree with that. Observer gave it 4 1/4.
Aggressive.
I would maybe lean towards 4, but I can't quite go there.
Dave was in a good mood for this.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. It was super fun and definitely the highlight so far.
Then we get to the low light, right?
Undoubtedly.
After that highlight. And it is...
Not just because it's the only blemish on my record, I think.
And I got it right, correct? Yes, I did. NXT Women's Championship match. It's Roxanne Perez defending against Lola Vice. So, again, it is a heel face dynamic, but it's fresh babyface Lola Vice who just...
Also, they replayed her crying in the vignette.
Yeah, they did. It's a lot.
It's
a lot.
It's so bad.
So
I can't watch it.
Part of the story of this is Perez ducks a back fist out on the floor and Lola Vice hits the ring post really hard.
And they do the thing where the screen's shorting out, which used to be cool to me, but now it's like it really feels...
like it's engineered.
Yeah.
So Perez would then target Vice's arm for much of this, which is something I like. So that should be something I like. She even did, I thought it was cool. She had the arm trapped and did a Northern Lights suplex on the floor, right? That was kind of cool. Pop rocks on the announce table, crossface
that was pretty cool.
In the ring, trapping the injured arm. 3 more pop rocks, kind of. Remember, it was...
She did one, botched one, and did another one for the win.
And it's over after 13 minutes.
13:08.
So...
Observer says 4 1/4.
No. Stop. That's impossible.
David. 7.23 for cage match rating.
Wow.
Did I mention, 8.99 for the tag title match as well?
Wow. Okay, so I'm a monster because I went 2.5 stars. I didn't like
I'll
this.
go 2.5. It bored me. Honestly, in hindsight, this should have been my bathroom break.
I like Perez. I like Vice. I like limb targeting, but I couldn't get into this.
It was disjointed. It just felt like it was missing something.
I don't want to say it was a dud, but it was really underwhelming.
Kind of was a dud.
And then the multiple finishers, one of them being completely botched.
That they cut out of the replay.
But I had issues before that, right? I don't know if it's a chemistry issue or if Vice isn't ready, but they only... It's not I guess
she might not be... She might be a North American person for a bit.
But it was like 13 minutes. It's not like it... That's fair. That's where I think she should be as a heel, and you need one in that area, right?
So but then who's on Perez's level?
This was the low point for
Cora Jade?
People they're bringing in.
I guess Julia and Vaquer. That's it.
Are the next two. So yeah, very disappointing.
Yeah, this one underwhelmed. The other women's match was far better, which is very surprising.
And then we get a super fun main event out of it, which is nice. So it's a 4-way for the NXT Championship. Trick Williams, the champ,
Willie,
defending against Javon Evans, who stood out in this, I thought.
Absolutely.
He's kind of undeniable at this point. Ethan Page, Sean Spears.
Trick is still... I will say it was cool to see Trick's entrance live just because everyone's...
Yes, it's a good
entrance. It's a
good energy to it, for sure.
Yeah, no issue with Trick's charisma and everything.
So I didn't notice live, but Page was wearing a Resident of USA
I remember
jacket.
I told you, yeah. Which is funny because he's healing it up and because, usually you take the chance to be the hometown hero, but I like that he goes the opposite
I am not.
way.
Yeah. Trick seems to have like Harlem Heat inspired tights, I think it was.
He was wearing white, and as was Spears. Spears had the cool chairman entrance again.
He did.
We saw him sitting there though
with his
in
mask.
the dark.
Yeah.
Before they the entrance.
Well, who was still making his entrance? Evans?
Yes.
And then Spears comes out early and is sitting in the chair.
Spears' entrance was so much cooler with his AEW theme though.
Yeah. Not much about him's cool, I don't think. Although he did get some 10 chance. That was fun.
I enjoyed that.
Paige exits the ring, just being the smart heel, right? Like, you guys can fight it. But Evans dives onto him while Spears and Trick fight in the ring. The heels face off and shake hands, but then poke each other in the eye at the same time.
that made me laugh.
Spears with chair shots. He hits a Death Valley driver onto a chair in the corner.
That was pretty cool. It was cool.
Evans vaults over the turnbuckle and drives Trick through the barricade.
That was cool because the barricade spot that actually surprised me, and like I was like, because every time they do the barricade spot, Michael was like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "You do this like so many times. It's not. And
it's always a spear into it.
It's always a spear, and it's predictable, and like this was cool, and like just Javon's crazy,
and just the height he gets is impressive.
I'd like to see Oba chuck him.
Death Valley driver to Evans off the top
C4,
rope.
How dare you?
Sorry, but Paige gets the 2 count after tossing Spears aside. Evans with a Spanish fly on Paige, then a huge springboard cutter for 2.
Very nice.
Spears tries to superplex Evans to the floor, but Evans blocks it. Then Evans with a cutter from the top rope and a springboard corkscrew splash of some kind.
His finisher, I think, right? That finishing one he does.
It looks crazy. Evans tries another springboard, but Trick pushes him off through the announce table.
That was pretty crazy because he both hit off the edge and went through it. Yes. It looked gnarly.
Maximum impact, it looked like.
It looked bad.
And his selling for a 20-year-old is like, he's a really good seller. He looks like he gets
ragdolled too.
He does.
It's like he's pretty great.
Spears evades a kick from Trick and puts him in a sharpshooter. Nice little moment there in Canada, right? That. Paige breaks it up with a super kick and hits an Ego's Edge on Trick for 2 as Evans puts Trick's foot on the ropes. Go ahead.
No, that's not. That's probably the one blemish on this match for me is that like, and that might be his inexperience because I think he probably should have pulled him out.
Well, I think so too.
This might have been the plan and they just messed up. I don't know. I don't know who's at fault, but that's not how this works.
Nope, not.
There's no rope breaks.
There's no DQs, no anything.
Exactly.
Right? So there's no rules.
You don't have to be factoring in the decision to lose your title.
Trick hits the trick shot on Evans and Paige
which like bounces him into Spears because I think Paige moved out of the way. So okay, so it was ahead. You have Spears on the apron,
yes,
and Javon's in front of him. I think Paige moves out of the way, right? So trick shot to Javon because he was going for Ego,
right?
And so that knocks Spears off the apron. Then I think Trick ducks a shot from Paige. Trick shot to Paige. Paige lands on Javon. Spears pulls Trick out of the ring,
right? And
Paige gets the accidental pin,
and
which I saw someone point out is a callback to Backlash 2007 when they had a four-way with Cena, Michaels, Edge, and Orton, and they did a similar thing.
I thought it was cool because Paige
really cool.
comes to and is like told, "Hey, you won." He didn't even know he won, right?
Yeah.
So
and the trick shot actually looked solid.
But it did. It was of course it's a choreographed finish. I thought it worked and was a little bit creative.
It came off pretty naturally.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I quite enjoyed it. So,
and I was super pumped, like because
champ.
We called it, but like in the back of my mind, I was like, they're not actually gonna do it.
I was partly picking it because I wanted it.
That's kind of what I was doing, right? And I was not. Like, I wasn't 100% sure that they would do it.
It kind of makes sense, though.
It does, and I'm
Trick's
glad
run's been a bit underwhelming, right?
And I think Ego's now he's like the fastest person to win the NXT title upon. Nice. I think it was Owens before, but now it's
nice.
Yeah, because he came along to it pretty fast. I think 6 weeks.
I really enjoyed this. I thought Evans stood out. Insane athleticism and pretty advanced selling for a 20-year-old. I've seen some people criticize the finish, right? But I thought it was creative.
Well done.
And allows Paige to win, and he can talk about it differently. It can be different when he retells the story, right? So I think it worked as it was supposed to. The veterans supported the youngsters. Everybody came away looking good. I thought everyone
played their part really well. Yeah, even like Spears.
And memorable with Evans with a really memorable showing in his first PLE, right?
Absolutely.
Like, he looked great. So I thought this was really strong. I gave it 4 stars.
Yeah. So Observers 4.5.
Wow.
Cage matches 9.1.
So, wow, so that's more than 4.5.
So yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think 4 is perfect. Like, really I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and if I was gonna go with NXT match of the year, like it's one of my leading candidates.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be good enough to like maybe we'll nominate it just to throw them a bone because I did really enjoy it. And right now it's just AEW stuff.
Yeah.
So Maybe I'll at least keep it in my short list because I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
I thought it was like one of my favorite NXT matches of the year.
Yes, very fun
along
match.
with the Stand to Deliver 3-way, probably.
They seem to be getting the multi-man stuff. And that makes sense when you have some inexperienced guys. Right?
Yeah, well, because like they used Javon perfectly here.
They did. So, sometimes I go math, sometimes I go by feel. So math tells me this is a C+. I, in person, enjoyed it more than that. So I bumped it up on enjoyment factor, maybe because I was there or whatever. But I gave it a B-. I had fun at that show.
Yeah, I would agree. Wait, what did I give Money in the Bank? Did I give it a B-? I think I did, right?
I think so.
I'll give it a B because I enjoyed it more than Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
so
fun being
there.
Part 6,
I was there. Yeah, I think that definitely helps, and like just to have. I mean, it's kind of a balance with one match under-delivering and one over-delivering. Actually, a couple under-delivering. Okay, I'll go B-. That makes more sense.
And the tag match, really good. Main event,
better
really
than
good.
Money in the Bank, I think. For me.
Fun show.
So I enjoyed it, yeah. And at least like the main event sticks to landing because that's what you want, if anything.
Glad to say you enjoyed it better because it was much more affordable to go to Heatwave than a Money in the Bank. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's going to wrap up that segment. We'll move back into what we do every week, and that's deep dive into this Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite. All right, take me back in time to Wednesday when I watched Dynamite with you. See what I remember.
We watched it on...
Not Wednesday.
Yes,
Friday? Whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was a day this week I watched it. So that means I'll remember more if it was yesterday.
Hopefully. We first got a recap of MJF's post-heel turn promo on Collision because we had that big heel turn at the end of last week's beach break.
Oh, right.
And then he kicked off Collision with the promo, which I also heard really good was, as I was telling you, Switchblade Hangman from
Collision?
Owen semis.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So
we could find it. We always say that and then we don't. It's like Collision is this mythical thing that we hear about but never see.
Yeah. Well, I was saying I was going to watch that too because I did want to, but then
we are very much creatures of habit, and it's not a habit to watch.
It's not a habit. It's a hassle because
it is.
I have to go find the stuff. Because Canada, pretty much. But yeah, so they have a smaller Titantron screen on the stage. It's like more of a rectangular one instead of like that, or like a square looking one instead of like that long stretch out.
If you say so.
No LEDs on the ring or barricade. Looks and sounds like a smaller venue this week. I think they're in Calgary for the Owen finals, obviously.
Yeah, that's right.
We kick off with a promo from Will Ospreay. He was like kind of sitting in the corner the whole time, like on top of the
yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was.
He said he was appalled and disgusted last week, but he wasn't surprised. He's talked about how he had heard rumors about how MJF was one of the most insecure people in pro wrestling. He talked about Garcia gaining popularity, so MJF tried to stop it, and talked about the tombstone from the middle rope. That was pretty sweet. Will said Garcia is home with no feeling in his arms, and he doesn't know if he can come back to wrestle. He said MJF talked about ADD and Will has ADHD, but it doesn't give him an excuse to be a prick. He said the big war 2024 that MJF talked about didn't go his way because Khan would rather spend his money on guys like Ospreay who will elevate AEW rather than bury it. He talked about MJF calling him a talentless hack, but he's got more talent in his left nut than MJF has in his entire body. He said that the main reason MJF doesn't like us is because he represents the foundation of this place. He talked about MJF's tattoo that he showed in his return.
Right.
That said bet on yourself, but Ospreay says it should have said all about myself. He said since he's been in AEW, he's felt like he's been cleaning up somebody else's mess, and he found the guy who made the mess. He talked about MJF being a scumbag. He said the level of the devil is ground floor and Will's on the top one. He said he's here and he's after a fight. MJF appears on a Tron singing like one of those fancy chairs with this glass of wine like I feel like he used to do.
Yeah.
He claimed that people didn't deserve to be in the presence of his greatness. He bragged about being all the top guys and said Will is a joke. He said that he doesn't have to murder himself because all he has to do is speak. MJF said that once they see Ospreay's routine, they'll get tired of it and realize that Will is replaceable. He said he's been in the sport 10 years and he's seen 10 different best in the world guys come and go. He said he's a generational talent. He said no to a match this week. He doesn't wrestle for fun. He says he wrestles for the betterment of AEW and he challenges Ospreay to a title match next week. He said Will won't be wrestling for stars because MJF will be punching him until he sees him.
Yeah, I thought outside of the I've complained about it already enough. The forced Garcia is in our orbit sort of thing, but it's gotten us to a point where I'm happy, right? Where we're getting Ospreay MJF with MJF as a heel as it should be. So I'm okay with that. I thought this was really good. I enjoyed it, and it felt like a big time interaction, right? That's setting up a really big match on Dynamite for next week. I thought both of them sounded great, and a contrast of promo styles kind of on display. And I guess they used Garcia as a vehicle to get here in the hopes that Garcia would get a rub from both of them or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see. But I thought the work by MJF and Ospreay here, even MJF like not being there in person and having a reason for that, and the stuff Ospreay saying kind of makes sense, right? Like, so I think both of them are justified in what they're saying. I thought it was good
for sure. Yeah, I always prefer to start with a match, but you can do a lot worse than kicking the show off with Ospreay in any manner. And so I like what we had to say about MJF. He made some good points. His delivery is always enjoyable, and he feels real. And I like the line about like their disorders or whatever. Like I thought that was kind of a cool thing to plug in. And he walked a good line between like kind of giving MJF some props, but like also chastising him for what he's done. And I like MJF too. Like back to classic MJF. This is his peak form, as they said.
This is where he belongs. Yes.
Yeah. This is a crazy match for Dynamite next week, but their window for the TV deal is coming up, so they're apparently looking to load up TV. So we will benefit from that. I think it's Dynamite 250 next week, so that's cool.
It is their 250th episode.
This is a good way to do so, in my opinion. I think they got another big match next week too, so that will be coolio. And then we'll have it this week, and then next week will be Blood and Guts as well.
Right. Does that little number say 46? Just making a note. Oh, your eyes aren't
that good. I think so, yeah.
Either. Sorry, carry on.
It looked like it.
Technical stuff.
Wait, is that racist?
What?
My eyes aren't that good? Is that racist?
Well, I just thought that your 17-year-old eyes would see it a lot more clearly than my...
Maybe not. I don't know.
So no, it was not racist, and I don't know what you're trying to say, but...
Danielson, Hangman they get a package next. We just basically get their journeys to get here, their motivations. Hangman, what I thought was cool to point out, their record's 1-1-1.
Yes.
Because their first match was a draw, then the Hangman won, then Danielson won.
Right. So it's kind of the rubber match despite being the fourth match.
Which I like, because fourth matches always feel like they're coming after a trilogy, but it is still the rubber match.
So it's already for something, plus it's like personal.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep, me too.
Which is kind of the deal with Hangman Switchblade too, because Hangman never beat Switchblade.
Right.
So there's that. And yeah, because the first match was Winners Coming 2022. That was the draw. Then I think it was the first TBS Dynamite in that was 2021. 2022 was the first TBS Dynamite, which is also when Cargill's Reign of Terror started.
Mm-hmm.
That was their second match with Hangman won. Then there was, remember when after Punk vacated the title the second time, there was that Tournament of Champions, and then remember Mox and Danielson at Grand Slam?
Yep.
Danielson beat Hangman in that tournament.
Right.
So that's how we got here.
Sorry, speaking of which, no Cargill present anywhere on
really?
Money in the Bank, eh?
No. Oh, yeah, no. Because they lost the tag titles.
And just like she's supposed to be a big deal by now.
I guess.
Just in general, right?
I think because she kind of sucks.
I have to hear people saying like she's basically Goldberg. Like she's never going to be very good. She just looks crazy, obviously. But anyway,
well, hopefully she doesn't have as big of his ego as Goldberg does.
Yeah, hopefully.
Then we go right to Danielson Hangman Owen Cup Finals. And I'll always miss the Ghost Town Triumph old theme, but
even though you were listening to the new one before,
I do like his new theme. I think it works really
Yeah.
well. It's just I don't think it was necessary because honestly, if you kept his other theme, I wouldn't have cared. But I think his new entrance does have a certain aura about it. Like it's just like the darkness and like the more intense theme and like just like the smoke with the orange hue is like it has a presence to it, or it's a nice presentation. So I like what they've done with his.
Yeah, I think it fits. I don't have a problem with it.
It is more distinguishable from old Hangman. So at least there's like a more noticeable difference because when he was starting to do heel work early this year, it was like he had the mustache look, but he was still going with like the old theme and like.
It almost an indicator to fans, right? Yes, I am completely.
Yeah, if he was kind of walking the line before, now it's like, you know what I mean? So I kind of like that.
There's no doubt.
And Jarrett's guest enforcer.
So he's there to make things, as they said, fair and square. And I say they are aware that Jarrett has been nothing but a heel his entire time in AEW, right? Now he's up here to uphold values. And I said, Jack makes a great point that Jarrett was around for this tournament last year and yet felt no need to do any of this.
Yep.
Right. So it's kind of weird in a couple ways. He's a
weird
heel,
for many reasons.
And now he's like the sympathetic old man who is friends with this guy.
I mean, hopefully he cries better than Lola Vice did.
It's too much of a 180 without any sort of reason.
Yeah. Well, kayfabe reason, I guess.
I guess.
Other than being friends with someone.
Right.
But like, whatever. Suicide dive from Danielson, then diving shotgun dropkick in the ring. We got strike exchange. Hangman swings Danielson around in a sleeper hold, and then he was stomping him a bunch. That was kind of cool. Heavy chops from both of them. Danielson gets Hangman in a Juji Katami.
Yep.
And he switches to the label lock, but Hangman gets his foot on the ropes. Saito suplex from Hangman. Spider German from the corner from Danielson, and Hangman landed high. That was pretty cool.
Landed on his head, basically. It looked crazy.
Danielson misses the diving headbutt, the flying goat, I think they call it in WWE. Hangman locks him in a crossface, but Danielson gets the ropes. Hangman anvil elbows top the corner from Danielson. Hangman fights back, smashes Danielson's face on the actual exposed, like the actual turnbuckle.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the turnbuckle hook or whatever. Moonsault into a tombstone piledriver from Hangman for 2. Like, he kind of does the moonsault into the inverted DT position that AJ Styles and Fraser done, but then he just lifts him up into a tombstone, so that was really cool.
Pretty smooth.
Looked quality. Hangman went for the diving moonsault to the outside. Danielson shoves him off onto the apron, which looked pretty hard. Springboard dive to the outside from Danielson, which was pretty surprising. Yes, kicks at ringside. Hangman ducks the final roundhouse and a pile driver on the floor, and Danielson barely made it back in. Hangman misses the rolling elbow. Danielson connects with the psycho knee, but he can't make the cover in time. Hangman flips out of a German suplex, goes for his own. Danielson flips out as well. Danielson goes for the psycho knee. Hangman pulls the ref in the way. Hangman starts whipping Danielson with his belt. He's choking Danielson with it, and Jarrett comes to intervene. Hangman shoves him. Jarrett reveals a ref shirt because he's CM Punk now.
And only after he watches, we all watch the turnbuckle get pulled off and used. We watch a belt come out. Yeah. Then Jarrett kind of moseys down, right? Like,
yeah. Danielson roll up for 2. Hangman gets out of the bell lock, connects with the Deadeye for a near fall. Buckshot to the back of the head from Danielson, from Hangman to Danielson. Danielson ducks the second one coming from the front, goes for a roll up. Hangman kicks out and locks it on the crossface. And the finish comes when Danielson is able to counter that into a pin for the win. Then Danielson gets the stuff from Jarrett and Martha Hart. Swerve comes down, and as he's coming down, we go to commercial.
Yeah, I thought excellent TV match. For me, the blemishes are they move Nigel down to commentary for this, which I find his whole super heel and hatred of Danielson to be from a bygone era that I don't want anymore. But anyways, and the involvement of Jarrett, I don't think really accomplished much either.
That was my main blemish for sure.
He was there to do a job that he didn't really do and then became a ref, which wasn't his job. But anyways, we knew that this match would be awesome. It was. Danielson needed the win here, I think, more than Page did. So the result makes sense to me. Page is the heel aggressor who got caught by the resilient master technician, right? Great TV match. Couple too many moving parts for me to make it like super elite, but I really enjoyed it still. And the aftermath, I thought Hart sounds rough on the mic, but that's not her job. But
yeah,
so you include her.
It was whatever.
I'm for all for another Swerve Danielson matchup, and hopefully like that's, even though I know Danielson, I feel like that's another signature win for Swerve. Right?
I think it should be. And Danielson will be fine with that.
And Swerve's in for blood and guts, right?
I'll talk about the promo after because it was kind of separate.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just was looking at news. Apparently the Woo Energy deal is
over,
expired, and so
goodbye.
Apparently that working relationship's over.
We don't need to work on making Ric Flair more money.
Yep. Well, yeah, I think so. Flair's done with them, so that's cool. And with Sting done too, that's good.
Win.
Anyways, back to Dynamite. I thought it was a great match to start the show. I feel like they got the time they needed. They told a good story throughout. The main blemish is definitely Jarrett, but it was really the only main thing I didn't love here, and it was mostly towards the end, so at least it was like mostly okay. Rest of this was done super well. Danielson's been selling the neck really well ever since the Ospreay match, and so I think that's a really good thread to be going with in his major matches. And Hangman went after that viciously, so that was good too. Heel Hangman's enjoyable. I like his added aggression and everything, and he came pretty close, so he looked good still.
He did.
I personally was of the opinion I think he should have won. I figured Danielson would win, but I think it should have been Hangman just because I think bringing his feud Swerve to the biggest stage possible was too tantalizing. I think that was like a slam dunk, but
they're still getting there for blood and guts, sort of, right? Like they're opposing.
I could see maybe even somehow he worked to a 3-way, possibly.
Be fun.
Yeah. Swerve versus Danielson's far from a bad consolation. Great TV match, but I did not need all the Jarrettness, which I feel like
definitely
is the case anytime he's on TV. But then we hear from Swerve Strickland after the commercial break. He's there. Danielson's gone. It's just Swerve and Nana in the ring. Swerve said he stood on the stage not more than a week ago looking at Ospreay. He recalled Will saying the best in the world is the one holding the world title, and he said now that's him. He silenced the doubters while adding, you're looking at the best in the world, and you're still looking at the AEW World Champion. He gives Bryan Danielson congrats for winning the Cup, and it'll be an honor to face him at All In. He said Bryan holds a win over him, and he's a man who holds grudges, so he hasn't forgotten. He claimed that they're at different points in their careers since Bryan is near the end, while Swerve is the most dangerous man in AEW, and he's just getting started. He changed directions. He started talking about the Elite and the Young Bucks, who asked him to be on their team a couple weeks back, I think it was. He said he's here to announce that he would be joining Blood and Guts, but for Team AEW. He said he's going to lead this team and step up, and he'll do two things that Danielson failed to do, which is beat Will Ospreay and beat the Elite. He said, we're in the Dynasty era. Well, there are three men leading the era. It said it's him, Ospreay, and Okada. He's challenged Okada to a match, saying the world champion will show you how to make it rain, bitch. And he ended by saying that this will be Danielson's final countdown. So I thought those were two killer lines back to back there.
Yeah, they were. Pretty good promo. Not my favorite Swerve promo, but he accomplished a lot here, right? Like, we got some new information out of this, and yeah, a couple good shots to those guys at the end. So, nice to see Swerve again. They are sort of salvaging his title run for me. He's starting to feel more important, right? It started out where the Elite were a bigger deal than him, and I feel like that's sort of
I think Christian Cage was an odd first.
Agree. That too didn't help, I don't think. So
I love him, but
Swerve's on the path that I like him to be. So I thought this was good.
Mm-hmm. I thought solid promo from Swerve, tackled a few things here. I'm kind of glad he beat Ospreay just because it's definitely helped him out.
Yes, for sure.
It helped to cement him as champion. Him and Danielson did have that random TV match last year. I think it was for a TNT title shot, so should be interesting when they run it back on a big pay-per-view level. I liked it. I hope he goes back to edge he was showing against Ospreay, because I think that was really...
Me too.
He was hitting his stride again. I realize it's as early in the build as we can be, so it'll take time. I hope he ramps it up again. And Danielson's in his final full-time stretch, so I think he's a great sympathetic babyface. So
he is.
All those factors, I think we could really heal it up for Swerve. And I'm not saying he has to go full monster heel again, because I think we do have to bear in mind that Swerve will likely have to deal with heel Hangman.
But he can at least do like vicious.
That's what I'm saying.
Targeting, right?
Like, yeah, go vicious. Maybe make it a little personal, kind of like he did with Ospreay, because he did go more with the Swerve we like, but he remained babyface still. So I think that's what we really need to tap into as we get deeper into this feud. But so I'd like to see some edge again for this, and him joining Blood and Guts makes sense. I expected that to be confirmed eventually, and it also for me all but confirms Hangman to join the Elite.
Yes,
because where else are we going? But I'm looking forward to both matches.
Me too.
For sure. Then we get a Willow May package. We got highlights from Willow's win last year. She says May's in the same spot she was last year, the finals, yeah. Mm-hmm. She's also in the same spot she was last year, coincidentally enough. May says Storm believes in her and she can take the whole thing. Willow says she knows May wants her hometown moment, but she has a chip on her shoulder. May says she'll stop at nothing to bring the cup home, and this one's for Tony.
Yeah, I thought that because there's not a lot of connection between these two, then I like that they tried to do something here. And I thought it was nice to see Mariah May kind of acting like a regular person removed from the drama of Tony Storm's little world. So I kind of like that to see her in that spot.
Yeah. Solid package, both of them sounded good. And much like the men's final, I think there's a more likely outcome, but it could kind of go either way.
Agree.
Which I
like I'm pretty sure who was winning, but wasn't 100%.
Yeah, for sure. Then we're getting a clean music video on the Bucks. I didn't catch much of it, but it was like mostly just the gist was like they're going to beat the Bucks 2 times, and there's some
the whole thing
good
was
lines
called
in
2
there.
times. Yeah,
yeah, I liked it. It's good per the usual. It's no Buck Hunt.
No, Buck Hunt was like exploded them onto our map basically. So there were some shots at Nick Jackson's hairline, and there was like stuff. It was good. I like that they responded in music just because it's different, right? Instead of promos, they had. And I said the same thing.
Right, that's their strength, right?
It wasn't Buck Hunts by any mean, but it was something different. And I kind of thought it was fun. I can't remember any of the specific digs right now either, other than Nick's hair. But I remember like dressing up like the people you hate, something like basically like now you guys are wearing suits and stuff when those are the people you said you would never be, sort of thing. Yeah. I think that was in there too.
Yeah, I never take notes on these because it's like, how are you going to? And then I hope someone else has, and if they haven't, then
I just want to enjoy it too, and not have to parse the language too closely.
Exactly. Then we get Samoa Joe versus Chris Jericho on a Stampede street fight.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Joe looks crazy to me in jeans. That was my first. Just look weird to me.
It makes sense, but
like, yeah, it does because it's street fight. But it's just like, huh? Because it's usually like tights or a suit, right? Like, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, it's either the shorts or the suit. Or
yeah. So it was weird.
Yeah, it's just strange. Corner elbow and Nagiri from Joe. Jericho brings in horseshoes. He gets backdropped on the horseshoes. Senton for 2 from Joe. Lobo from Jericho. Walls of Jericho as we go to commercial break. Jericho runs and dives from the apron. Joe walks out of the way. Jericho hits the stairs. Crowd brawling, going backstage. Coffee in Joe's face. Joe ducks the Judas effect. Kina clutch. Big Bill comes out of the washroom with a chair. It's funny because you could see him peeking through the door at first, and then he came through.
Yeah.
Bill and Keith beat down Joe. Jericho hits him with a belt buckle. Choke slam on the forklift pallet that was raised.
Mine says nice choke slam onto the pallet, Bill, in same thing.
Jericho drives it through the wall, a very thin drywall, and the match is over.
So a 2-inch power bomb from Big Bill onto a pallet that's at like chest height, and then
the pallet goes through the wall.
And then the pallet takes the brunt of the drywall that, like, anyways.
Go off.
I thought the match itself was pretty basic, unspectacular. The finishing spot, I don't know, man, because Joe is such a badass, and for to have this be what is going to take him out is a problem for me. And they clearly built this random wall there just to drive through, and I don't think it looked as good as they hoped it was going to. I think the impact to Joe, the way they went through, would have been minimal, right? The way he was lying and the way the pallet hit the wall, it would have been like a couple pieces of drywall falling onto him probably, which is not a big deal, but I think it's less impact.
What Darby or the stuff we saw in Anarchy in the Arena.
Just the standard throwing him through it would be, or like Nash lawn darting. I know Joe's a little harder to lawn dart. Would have looked way better than this. They went for something, I guess, but I felt like this was like an old Raw episode where they're, when they were determined to have Braun have stuff all the time, Braun's feats of strength, I don't know.
Some of those are cool though.
They worked backwards from needing to write Joe off, and I think they could have done better.
Absolutely. This was not great. Didn't overly interest me. Could have spent time on a better match this week. Since this didn't really further the story along much, it was just a lazy write-off. Honestly, couldn't we have just done a backstage attack like we did with Hook instead of doing a match I didn't want?
And that could have been something cooler looking than this. It didn't need to be in a match either, but...
Or do the stupid pallet thing and don't waste the match. I don't care.
Yeah.
Crowd brawling center for me. The rest of the action was fine, but not a ton happened, and the finish was lame. Because I agree, Joe should be able to take more than that, and I didn't need this match.
Nope.
Knowing what his purpose was is helpful, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah. Next, we get much better. The Global Glory 4-Way, which is Kyle Fletcher, Claudio Castagnoli, Pac, and All Elite for the Summer, Tomohiro Ishii.
Yeah, I saw that.
International title shot is on the line for those curious.
Cool group.
This exists for. Yeah. Claudio's about to swing Pac. Fletcher cuts him off with a super kick. Saito suplexes to Fletcher and Pac from Ishii. Claudio gets Ishii with a gut wrench suplex. Spinning punch to the outside from Claudio. Circuit exchange all over the place. Beautiful poison rana to Fletcher from Pac. Claudio launches Pac for the very European uppercut. Just chucks him
Absolutely.
up. Fletcher murders Ishii with the tombstone for 2. Just the way he drops was awesome. Fletcher gets swung, which looked awesome too. Claudio's got Fletcher in a sharpshooter, and Pac perfectly lands his
of course he
springboard elbow on Fletcher and then locks him in the brutalizer simultaneously. And eventually Ishii breaks things up. That looked pretty awesome. Ishii absolutely clocked Fletcher with a lariat.
He did.
Absolutely killed him.
And Fletcher for his part took it awesome too.
Looked like he got killed.
Yeah.
Finish comes and we actually finally get a black arrow from Pac to Fletcher's ass kinda. But black arrow to the back of Fletcher right into the brutalizer for the tap out, which was beautiful. Finally, we get that. Pac says post match, things have been going well recently since his return. He suffered many humiliating failures. I like the way he says it though. I
know his delivery is amazing.
I can never do it justice. He says he doesn't know what he'll do next, but he does know it's all in season, and the bastard will not be denied his Wembley moment. He says to let his victory tonight stand as a line in the sand, and he will be back.
Yeah.
So they better do that match at All In.
It's the same as the one he just did, the I'm not winning very much. The bastard's back.
It felt good.
Just did that. But anyways, this was a super fun sprint of a match. I looked it up. So this got 11 minutes, which is why they did so much so fast, right? Really good group of talent. Everyone...
Like Money in the Bank.
Everyone was given a chance to get some of their stuff in, I thought. The crowd was into it. I thought it was fun. And I thought this was more like the Ishii I love, right? There wasn't extended strike and chop exchanges for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. He was wrestling more, right? And that's the Ishii. Like you can sprinkle that in, but I feel like North American Ishii has been like 60% just chopping people, right? And that's not...
Kind of like Suzuki a lot of the time too.
That's not peak Ishii for me. So I thought this was more like the Ishii I enjoy. Fletcher sold a lot, looked really good. Happy for Pac to pick up this win. I thought just an 11-minute.
The prospect of Pac Osprey too.
Pac Osprey in London.
You have to.
That's
They're
crazy.
both British.
That's amazing. So that match, that's like a dream match for me. So I thought this was a super fun.
If they give that away on TV, I'll be kind of mad.
Yeah, like this or Men's Money in the Bank.
This.
I know, right? Similar length too, because you want to go. Well, this was only 11 minutes. Well, they got 4 more.
Yeah.
Weird, right? But anyways,
Money in the Bank deserves more than that. So
I agree.
But it was a great team match. It's that random fun that AEW really excels at. All these guys are good, even if Ishii isn't in his prime. But I thought he did really well here. Even a lot of hard hitting stuff. This is super entertaining and had some stakes as well. Poor Fletcher took an absolute beating, but he did show some sweet stuff too. So he looks good all around. Finally, we got a proper Black Arrow, as beautiful as ever. Pac gets the win too, which I like. MJF better not win next week because I need Osprey Pac. MJF's irrelevant in this equation.
I don't think MJF wins.
I don't think he does, but like I'm just kind of scared.
I know.
Because I don't want him to win.
No, because Pac Osprey is where we got to go. Especially if Pac's going to come back as a mega heel now.
Especially if we want to do it in London too. Like, why wouldn't you that? Because I've heard like people say Osprey Ricochet, but like that's not enough.
I'd rather see Osprey Pac. I know I'm not the
plus Pac's on that level anyway.
I agree.
So like athletically,
that match would be amazing. Give them 20 minutes. Let them go.
25.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Next we got Hangman. Renee's looking
fired up
from Danielson. Yeah, like,
Hangman
brushes by her and she's like, she appreciates some respect for what she's doing. Like she gets like defensive, but like good for Renee. Yeah. Good for Renee. Hangman's being a little rude.
He is.
Hangman knocks on the Elite's door and Okada says, "Can I help you?" He kept saying, "Can I help you?" And I kept waiting for him to say "bitch," and then he didn't.
Maybe that's why.
He was just like, "Can I help you, bitch?" He didn't do it. The Bucks ask if there's anything they can do for him, and Hangman says he'll do it.
He's in. So because of Swerve, right? That's the part that makes sense. As soon as Swerve is committed, Paige is obsessed with Swerve, so Paige has to. I just don't like the little disconnect that he said he would never let Swerve have the title, and he's already failed in that. So now, like, what's the point?
That's not his fault though, because Swerve earned the title shot when the Elite suspended him. So if anything,
should have found a way. If your feelings are that strong, you get a proxy.
I guess so, but
so that's my thing. Is what he wanted to stop has already happened.
But to me, then that makes him more obsessed because now he's twice as dedicated to taking it away from him.
Okay, sure.
I think it's perfectly defensible.
But anyways, Hangman's in. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Like that it was quick and moves things along as expected. I like Angry Hangman, but I also like that he just said, "I'll do it." You just didn't need to add anything else here.
And it also adds an interesting dynamic of how's he going to interact with his own teammates, right?
Because he clearly doesn't want anything to do with them. Like I said, they're the reason he couldn't really stop Swerve.
He's going to be kind of on his own, not taking part in any of their like tandem stuff, maybe, right?
The Elite Squad's looking pretty tough to beat, though. Like
they are.
It's a pretty,
it's a good,
pretty sweet unit there. Yeah, everyone's got a belt except Hangman.
Yeah, that's right.
Then we're gonna get Mercedes Moné's celebration thingy.
Celebration 2.0.
Yeah,
another one.
Her hair is a horrible mishmash of colors. It was like blue and green at Forbidden Door, and so it's like. The blue and green from before is still there. It's fine, but it's like half of it's blue and green, half of it's like this, like lavender purple, and that's like fighting its way in. And now it's like every color's losing.
As a colorblind person, it's always interesting for me.
It's just like
I don't know what I'm
half
seeing,
of it's like
but
this
it's
blue green mishmash, and then this purple here, and it's
fighting
just like
for supremacy of her head.
But and they're all losing because it just looks ridiculous.
There are no winners in this.
There are no winners. Absolutely. She tells Calgary to say hello to your CEO because we got to shoehorn those letters in as if her theme song didn't do the trick. She says there would be no interruptions this week.
Never.
She's the best there was, the best there is, the best there ever will be. Are we in Calgary? I don't know. Moné called up Baker saying she would leave her for dead if she got in Moné's way. She poured some booze. I don't know what it was, champagne or something like that. I don't pay attention to things. She toasts herself. Baker interrupts, takes out some security guys. Moné runs off. That's it.
Really basic segment to further the issues between these two. In the moment, it almost felt to me like, did something else go long and they shortened this? Because this was like really brief, I thought. But anyways, Moné's...
Maybe the street fight because we didn't need it.
So the same delivery that makes her so insincere and unbelievable as a babyface works as a heel, right?
Yeah, it's a lot better when
she's still not like amazing on the mic, but the insincere default setting works for a heel, so it's fine.
Yeah. So far this build has been solid. It's mostly thanks to just like Monet finding a better role.
Absolutely.
We just need to get
all it is.
We just need to get in the elite.
Position,
like she mentioned them again.
She did.
So
I
just
caught that.
do it.
Do it.
It's like literally they can just say we want a women's representative to dominate all the divisions. You have 2 belts. You're the most dominant. But whether she's the main belt or not, that's the heel logic there. You're a CEO.
Seamless. Other people can speak for you.
Literally just wrote the promo there. Do it. Do that. Brandon Cutler gets attacked backstage. He's got some paint on his face.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even make note of that.
Darbyth Allen.
Yep.
He said, I do like that he said Cutler made a sacrifice.
I made no note of this.
And things aren't over. He also mentioned Dynamite 250 next week. All I have to say is there's no way he's not in Blood and Guts.
I kind of forgot he was, for sure.
There's 3 spots left. It's the Acclaimed and Darby. I'm calling it right now.
The match type and just like his prominence put him perfectly. And being like an AEW through and through. If that's what we're doing.
Exactly.
I thought an FTR was hurt or something.
Yeah, didn't Dax have something in his back or whatever?
Yeah, he was going to be out for a long time. So, he had like a football-sized whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
Interesting.
So they're gone. So yeah, definitely Darby and the Acclaimed for Blood and Guts. Then we come to our main event, which is the women. And it's also a good match. It's Mariah May and Willow Nightingale, probably, and I think I said it in my opinion later, like, my 2 favorite women's wrestlers currently probably in the company.
Yeah.
And all time, like, they're up in my conversations. I think they're both really good.
They are.
And especially May has been a pleasant surprise this year.
And you told me she's only 25. So
yeah, we were looking at she's only 25. So that if they can keep her around, that's some good longevity for sure.
It's already really good. She has, and I'll talk about it multiple times, she has that everything looks a little more intense that the really great wrestlers have.
The first thing in the matches that are running shotgun dropkick from her. Right. I love it. It looks so good. It looks
awesome.
Like she looks like she really gets some like...
She's extending, right, when she hits them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty perfect. But yeah, she's really good. And Willow's awesome too. Willow's got the Attitude Era Owen Hart look with the danger, like the black and yellows, which I thought was a cool, different tribute to Owen Hart because most people do like the pink and black Hart Foundation kind of colors.
It's a deeper cut,
which is so I like that it's a deeper cut. It's the like the Nation,
Nation Owen
end of not to be too grim, but like kind of end of the line Owen Hart.
Yeah.
So I do like that Willow went the different route there, and so I think it was pretty cool looking. With Willow stuck in the ropes, May hits another dropkick to the back for a 1 count, so that's pretty cool. Spinning sidewalk slam from Willow for 2, which I thought was odd because doesn't May usually do that? I think.
I don't know.
Pretty sure. Why am I
Stealing
asking?
moves.
Why do I ask you anything?
Yeah, well, it's coming up next segment. You'll be asking
I'll only ask you
things. Gonna
things.
make for good radio.
Yeah. Cannonball from the apron from Willow. You could sound effect yourself. That would be funny. Spinebuster from Willow for 2. May hits Stratisfaction, her coming out for 2. She's the big Duke Hudson fan. Fisherman suplex from Willow for 2. She goes for a pounce. May counters with the headbutt, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, it looked good.
And they were both down for a bit. Stokely interferes while Storm is the ref distracted. Statler gets a cheap shot on Willow. And like a Takeshita-like knee strike from May for a near fall.
It was really good.
Both in how she hit it and also because it looked good.
Yes.
So making my boy proud there. Cool roll up for May for 2. It's like some rolling thing where she had to like leg. It's just
looked tough to get out of.
Yeah, it looks pretty effective. May looked like she was going for Storm Zero. Willow counters out, clocks her with a lariat for 2. Finish comes and Willow hits a cannonball in the corner. She has May up in a fireman's carry. May counters into the victory roll to get the win, which I wish she used the finish, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly how, or not exactly how, but it was some sort of victory roll thing where when Owen beat Brett at Mania 10. So you could argue that that's
okay. I'll allow it.
I'm just saying.
I like it. I thought this was a good match, and one of the things I liked is that the interference didn't directly lead to the pinfall, right? Because I don't know, that's kind of like interference, and then Willow loses right away.
And that's what I was expecting, so I like that.
Me too. So I like that they didn't give me that. I thought both like you said, both are really talented. Good match as expected. Right person won, I think.
Absolutely.
And again, it's nice that Willow and Statlander can have an important match outside of the title picture.
I'm saying if they do it right, you have 3 women's matches made for All In.
Right. So, and then so you're going to get into the aftermath. So I'll just say that I really like the match.
Right. Storm and May are celebrating in the ring. Storm does to the trophy. They skip up the ramp. May runs to grab the belt, immediately smacks Storm in the face with it. Then she's whipping her with the belt, which is like always like...
Even her belt attack looks better than the you know what I mean?
She looks vicious here.
Yeah.
Luther catches some strays. Luther gets a low blow and gets knocked off the stage through some tables. So Luther's taking one for the cause here.
And we get blood.
Oh yeah, Storm gets busted open. And then May like pummels the crap out of Storm's face with one of her heels. Like, she owes her money or something. Like,
get the sound,
like,
everything.
I was actually concerned. Like, it was nasty. Like, I don't really care about Storm, but like, that's some sympathy points there.
And those are things not everyone's good at. Like, May looks like she is.
She looked like she was killing her. It was crazy. But really solid match to end the show. Good for the women for getting the main event slot. That's the second time for Willow this year, so that's really cool. And the other one was good too. There was that match with Riho that we really liked. Big Business.
And we're not Riho fans.
No, I am not.
I heard she's hurt. Broke her arm?
Just saw that she's back, I think.
Oh, is she?
Maybe. I think it's in the Collision Nebula, so who knows?
Who knows what's going on
It's really quality, though. Two of my favorite women's wrestlers on the roster right now, if not the two current favorites right now.
5 days ago, broke her arm.
Oh, okay, so maybe she was back.
In a match on Collision.
Yeah. Nice. What?
Not okay. You know what I
mean. All time they'd be up there with Baker, Hayter, and Sheeta at least. But like the men's final benefited from not knowing who would win.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got spoiled, but like theoretically, could have gone either way.
And I would have picked May, but
I would have picked May. Yeah, the people who I figured would win won, but like could have been either way.
Right.
I figured May would get the win, but like yeah, it could have been either way. And there's some good near falls or two, so like kept suspense. I wish May hit her finish, but like then I think about like if it's a callback, then that's kind of cool.
Yep.
Post-match stuff also helps explain why this main event ended, so we get sent off with that major angle.
Mm-hmm.
May looked great in the turn. She looked super vicious, especially when she was hitting Storm with the shoe. Like she was laying her like it. Like you could convince me they had real heat.
It looked great.
It was hard, and the blood looked good too. Turning Storm face makes sense. I just won't care since I infinitely prefer May and will be rooting for her as a result. But I'm really looking forward to the build. Should be a huge match for the division, befitting of an all-in stage, and they're both English, so like May could still play the heel theoretically,
right?
Since neither of them will have like the hometown advantage,
and people have been cheering Storm anyways, so making her the face in this,
that's why it makes sense, right?
Makes sense. Overall, I like the episode. I like the opening segment with Ospreay MJF. Danielson Page was awesome. The 4-way was pretty awesome, and Willow May was a very solid main event. Street match was a bit of a low point, but that was just for Joe's sake, I guess, to get him out of there. Fun enough acclaimed video. Felt like a lot of in-ring heavy show this week, but I enjoyed it.
We only had 4 matches.
I went B+ because I really liked like 3 good matches I thought on the show, and a couple meaningful segments, right? And a really strong heel turn to end the show on a high note. So I went B+. I thought it was a fun show.
Yeah, quality show I thought. And in-ring was mostly strong just because we had the one blemish, because I thought the opener was great, Street Fighter was meh, 4-way was great, and the main event was pretty great too. And one of the strongest women's matches on TV this year, with a notable aftermath as well, which is sometimes lacking because a lot of times it's just like, the post-match attack and whatever. So this one was actually like
good,
different, and important.
Yep.
Segments, Ospreay kicked off the show strong, and that was a really good segment to start. Swerve was good as usual, but I'm just waiting for him to kick up the edge. Will is always good. Acclaimed Rap was entertaining. I love heel Hangman. Monet is much better as a heel, and Darby Back's cool. So nothing was really bad except maybe the street fight. I'm going to go with the B+. It's close to an A range.
Yeah, I agree.
But not quite.
Agree. A really good show. Okay, so we're going to switch to the same thing we always do, but we're going to do it differently. So we'll tell you all about that in a minute as we go into our trivia segment called Off the Top of His Head. All right, so we're switching this up.
We'll see how this goes.
All right, so it's trivia for me this week.
You. Which I've curated on a doc, so this is all my stuff.
Things I should know that probably don't.
I think so, yeah, we'll see. So I have multiple choice for most of them.
Okay.
As a back,
if I need it.
As a failsafe, yeah.
Got it.
Okay, the first one is, well, there's only 2 options.
So if you listen to this, if you've listening to us for a long time, these are things you might not be surprised that I don't know. If you're new,
we'll see.
Welcome to my memory.
Which set of titles are on SmackDown? The WWE titles or the world titles?
Oh, God. Okay, so I got 50-50 on this.
That's why I thought it'd be a decent start, but like it's something you should know.
WWE.
Yeah.
Yes. Just because I'm pretty sure this week Seth's going on about World Heavyweight.
That's why I thought you might know, but like I purposely picked the show that you don't watch.
Recently watching Raw is going to help me.
That's okay. Somewhat timely too. Who was Gable Stevenson's only official opponent?
Ooh, good one.
Am I throwing it to the options?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to know if I hear it. I think it's retrievable.
Okay, so A, Damon Kemp.
No.
B, Eddie Thorpe. C, Apollo Crews. D, Baron Corbin.
Oh. Was it Corbin?
Yeah.
Yes.
I purposely made them all plausible.
I wasn't super confident. I was like, I almost went, Cruz, because I knew it was main roster.
That's why I was also picking Kemp because I thought you might
brother versus brother bait. And then Thorpe, I was like, I don't think it was an NXT person.
All right, sticking with Corbin. This you might not know, but it's just like I went with recent stuff that is weird.
Okay.
What was an integral part of Corbin's feud with Reigns at the end of 2019, early 2020?
Was that dog food?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's that one.
Because that one was so bad.
There's also the guy in the big dog suit.
Oh, I don't remember that.
It was like a mascot suit. That was bad. Okay, this one I like. In 2020, WWE gave taglines or subtitles for a lot of their PLEs. Such as Clash of Champions Gold Rush or Survivor Series Best of the Best.
Okay.
What was the one for Extreme Rules?
Ooh, I'm going to need options.
Okay, we got Extreme Rules Survival of the Fittest.
Okay.
The Horror Show Extreme Rules, Extreme Rules Beware of Dog, or Extreme Rules Electric Boogaloo.
So I don't think it's Electric Boogaloo. Is it what was the second one?
Horror Show.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yes. Why was it Horror Show? Did they do?
Because there's a bunch of weird ass matches on there. Speaking of which, number 5. Yep. What was the main crazy match type at that show?
I don't options, please.
Okay. A, custody of Dominic ladder match.
No.
B, kendo stick on a pole match. C, eye for an eye match, or D, a literal death match.
Was that the eye for an eye?
Yeah.
The extraction.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
There's also the Wyatt swamp fight, but that's not very.
Don't remember that at all
either.
I do remember just the us loving the word extraction. That's what's really burned that one in for me.
Core memory.
I'm killing it.
Number 6. What strange match was especially notable at WrestleMania Backlash 2021?
WrestleMania Backlash. Options, please.
Okay. Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match.
Oh, maybe. Keep going.
B, Mountain Dew pitch black match.
Oh no.
C, a lumberjack match with zombies.
Oh no.
Or D, a Judy Bagwell on a forklift match.
Okay, so it's not that because that happened decades before. Okay, so sorry, what year? What show in what year?
WrestleMania Backlash 21.
21. Okay, so I'm guessing 100%. I'll take the zombies.
Yeah.
Yes!
That's the one. It was Priest and Miz.
Nice,
remember? And
yes.
There was that Batista movie they were sponsored by. And I was banking on that because all of these matches happened.
I was guessing.
Mountain Dew Pitch Black was Rumble last year, and then Texas Chainsaw was the Jarrett Jeff Hardy match from AEW.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that. I just was kind of guessing on that one. All right.
Okay. What was Nathan Fraser's name before he changed it?
Oh. Carter. Last name? I think I know this because he did. Is it the same name he used in AEW?
Yes.
Is it Ben Carter?
Yeah.
Wow. That's surprising.
My options were Nash Carter, Ben Turner, and then I threw in Smalatonga.
Smalatonga. Wow, that's pretty good.
That was pretty good. Yeah? I was hoping you'd ask for options because I could have thrown you off with the Carter.
You could have.
Because Nash Carter
is though that's
Wentz.
MSK.
That's Wentz. Yeah. Okay, this one I like a lot. What was Brandy Rhodes' faction in AEW?
Oh, you know what immediately came to mind, but it's not right. It's Pretty Mean Sisters, but it's not. Oh, I don't want to do options because I should know this. I'm going to know it as soon as I hear it. So don't give me a second. Let me try and think here. I remember we thought it was ridiculous. And it was her, Nyla Rose, right? Was she in that group at that time? No. Okay, give me options.
Okay. A, Vicious Vixens.
There it is. Keep going.
Okay. B, The Coven.
No.
C, I Wrote Brandy's Bitches.
No.
D, Nightmare Collective.
Oh. I'm going to go... It's A or D. I'll go Nightmare Collective.
Yeah.
Yes, because
Vicious Vixens was Vicky and Nyla.
Oh, right.
And bonus question. I have a couple bonuses here.
Okay.
Do you remember the 3 other members of the Nightmare Collective? 1 male, 2 female, for a hint.
And I'm not getting any multiple choice on this one?
No, this is just if you happen to know it. I was just...
1 male and 2 female. Nightmare Collective. Brandy Rhodes.
The male is still currently on TV.
Why wouldn't I know this? I don't have any idea.
Luther.
Oh, okay.
Melanie Cruz.
Oh, I've never.
She was the random one that they shaved her head.
Right.
And then Awesome Kong.
Oh my god. Yeah, you could have given me infinite guesses on that.
Other bonus, what was her tag team with Allie? Do you remember that?
Whose tag team? Rhodes?
Yeah. From the tag tournament that they did.
They had a name?
Yep.
No idea.
Nightmare Sisters.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. I think I had a question about the tournament, but I think I axed it. Yeah. Okay. Next one, number 9.
Yep.
Baszler is currently a 3-time women's tag team champion, and her most recent title win was with Ronda Rousey. Who's her tag partner of the first 2 reigns?
Chelsea Green.
Is that your guess?
No, options.
Okay. A, Nia Jax. B, Sonya Deville. C, Zoe Stark. D, Natalya.
Deville?
No.
Who is it?
Nia Jax.
Oh, really? No, I didn't know
yeah, because I hated it.
Forgot.
Yeah. Okay. I put Deville there because I was like, I knew it was
coming. That was a good one.
Okay. What was the name of the faction QT Marshall helmed before QTV?
Options.
The Nightmare Family, the Factory, the Marshall Family Office. D, why did he lead a group?
The Factory.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember.
Bonus. Do you remember the members?
Big Shotty.
Big Shotty's one.
Yes.
Big Shotty's one. There's 2 more.
Big Shotty.
At least that I remember.
Any description hints?
1 big, 1 small-ish.
1 big.
Beefy.
Beefy. I don't know. Who was
Comoroto and Aaron Solo.
Oh, Comoroto.
Yeah.
And you liked Solo.
I always found him to be interesting.
Who was he dating?
Oh, who was he?
You were always like, he's dating so-and-so at that time.
Wasn't it? I swear it was like Bailey or something.
There's a trivia for you. I don't know. Might have been Bailey. I think that's actually could be correct.
Could have been. Which of the following was not a one-off PLE?
Okay.
A, Stomping Grounds. B, Great Balls of Fire. C, Evolution. D, WrestleMania Backlash.
Which was not
a one-off.
So Great Balls of Fire was a one-off.
Okay.
WrestleMania Backlash, I feel like they did more than once. What were the other 2 options?
Evolution and Stomping Grounds.
I'll take Stomping Grounds.
Not a one-off?
Right.
WrestleMania Backlash. You still stuck with your gut. Because they all happened.
Oh, not a one-off. I even said it wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't get it right, but I kind of did.
Yeah. Well, I'll kind of give it to you. Okay. What was the main event of the first NXT 2.0?
Wow.
This one I did try to
have
stump
options?
you to. Yes.
Okay, I need them.
I have options up for all except the bonuses and I think the last 2.
Okay. Options for this.
Okay.
One.
A, Dunn Gargano O'Reilly Ciampa NXT title.
Okay.
B, Breaker LA Knight. C, Ciampa versus Dunn. D, Wagner Knight Dunn Ciampa NXT title.
Wagner Knight Dunn Ciampa NXT title. I will take the 4-way one.
Which 4-way one?
The last one you said.
Okay, yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Nice.
Because remember, it was supposed to be O'Reilly Knight Dunn Ciampa, but O'Reilly got taken up by Dunn. And Wagner replaced him. That was Wagner's debut.
That I went by feel. It didn't. I wasn't sure,
and
but that felt right.
Breaker Knight did happen, but that was the opener, I think.
Right.
Breaker's debut.
I nailed it.
Okay.
What can I tell you? I'm smart.
How did Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton end at Fastlane 2021?
Options.
Okay. A, Bliss possesses Orton, gets the win. B, Bliss drops a ceiling light on Orton for the win by KO. C, Burnt Fiend comes through the ring, costs Orton the match. D, Bliss with black goo to the face, gets the win.
I know the black goo was the thing. I don't know if it finished the match. And first of all, I didn't even remember this match existed until you read the question. I'll take the black goo.
Nope, it was Burnt Fiend comes through the ring.
That was my instincts. And then you got me because I know the only detail I know is that there was goo at some point.
That's what I was banking on,
with
too.
it.
That was the one where the Burnt Fiend came back.
That's what
that
was my instincts.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is the last multiple choice one.
Okay.
Which WrestleMania was the pandemic one? So I guess I'll have to give you options for that, obviously. It's between 37, 36, 38, and 35.
I guess I can't ask what this year was because I should know. So, sorry, I'm doing some. I think
that's fine. I was hoping this is what you do because then at least you could.
So
you could theoretically get it.
This year was 40.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So if I go back to,
if you go back far enough,
I'll take.
See if you can get it.
I'll take 37.
36.
Yeah.
36.
So close.
Close enough. Okay, 15.
Was I right about this year being 40?
That's right.
I'll take that as a win.
Your math is just a little off, I guess. Okay, who were Jade Cargill's baddies?
Oh.
See, when
Layla
I was
Gray? Layla Gray?
That's one. See, I made the mistake of thinking she was an original one. I forgot that she wasn't. So there's 2 more.
Oh.
I was going to give you options for this, but then it kind of got confusing.
Layla Gray only because I've confused the new NXT person with her. So that name was fresh.
And because we've always made the joke that it's Layla Gray.
Other baddies?
One of them you like.
Anna Jay?
No. I'll give you a couple tries.
Who else would have been a baddie? Not Ty Conti.
Bear in mind that people of the same race must be together.
So, okay.
I don't make the rules of that. It's just how it is.
Red Velvet?
Yeah, that's one.
Nice.
Okay. I'll give you a couple tries on this one if you can't get it.
Marty Bell? No.
This is one you like.
Willow?
No.
One I like.
One more.
One I like that must be.
I don't think she's in the company anymore.
Oh, no. Not Lariat Tubman.
No, not her.
What's her name? Trisha Dora?
No, not her.
I don't know who.
Kiera Hogan.
Oh, I do like her.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Right. I should have known that.
All right, here's the last one, which I feel like you could probably get, but I think I might stump you on one. Name every member of Retribution.
Okay.
Like just
Slapjack?
every member period. Slapjack's one.
T-Bar?
T-Bar's 2. Let me count 1, 2. 6.
Reckoning?
Reckoning, that's 3. Okay.
How many are there altogether?
3 more.
Mace?
Mace. Okay, 2 more.
I don't know. There was that many people in it. What was Ali? Did he have a name? So
Ali.
Does
Ali's
that count?
one.
Okay.
Yeah, last one.
Last one.
This is the one I knew you wouldn't get too. This is I got you exactly where I want you.
Was it? Who else was in it? Was Reggie in it? No.
No. If you can even remember who it actually was, I'll give you like a half point.
Well, because was that Mercedes Martinez?
It is. Do you remember what her name was? Think similar to Mia Yim's.
Reckoning and Retribution.
No, that's the group.
Oh, right.
Hers was Retaliation.
Oh, nice. Hey, I got them all.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the one I knew you wouldn't get either, because she was there and then she wanted out. She opted out.
I actually thought that Yim was that for a minute.
No, Yim was there for as long as the rest of them, yeah.
Awesome.
And then she kind of got back
out. That was fun. I think I did okay.
I think that's kind of like the scope. If I can ever get enough to curate another one, I'll bust it out at some point.
And what were some others? I remember I used to get confused on at the time people's names, which were who. There were some of those.
That's why I had like the Bartel one, but like I couldn't think enough about those. I was gonna do a Max Dupree one for.
Well, it used to be. I remember what were the Dyads guys' names, which I still wouldn't know to this day.
I actually do remember. Gibson was Rip Fowler, and James Drake was Jagger Reed.
I would have gone over on that one.
Yeah,
anyway, that was fun. I like to change it up.
Yeah.
All right, so now we'll go back into the week that was in wrestling. We'll look at what we liked and didn't. Anything notable, it's high spots and rest holds. All right, so we'll start out with Raw, and it opened with Punk in the ring, and I actually enjoyed this so much I told you that you need to go check it out in its entirety. So,
which sounds weird in context when you only mentioned Punk and then proceed to say you enjoyed it.
Right, but the bottom line was I thought Rollins came off looking like a star here. He was more serious. He wasn't doing... Anyways, Punk came in, and Rollins is sort of interrupts Punk, right? And he's mad for ruining his title shot, and Punk is basically...
Which is, like, at this point, still his last title shot, right? Before Priest kind of goes back on it.
Right, and so Punk almost apologizes, right? And was like, basically like, I was focused on one single thing, and that has sort of messed up the one single thing you're focused on, and I get that. And there's like almost this awkward pause.
He does do this sincere apology, and then he immediately goes back on it.
And he can't follow through with it, right? And there was one part where people are debating if he got lost in the promo or if it was him on purpose doing that pause to add, like, that's how hard it was for him to apologize. But anyways, he almost apologizes, and then Rollins
comes after him.
Rollins proceeds to just demolish him with what I would call truths. And the biggest thing for me is Rollins gets the last word and walks off, right?
Actions have consequences was the last
and
one.
I am your consequences, essentially, is what's going on. Because that's what Punk's always about, action. And then because Punk's thing was all these actions have consequences. And Rollins comes out and is like, but why doesn't that apply to you? And the reason you find it so hard to apologize is because you've never been wrong in your whole life, right? And it's all like, yes, you
sarcastically,
are
obviously
speaking the truth, sort of thing, right? I thought it was fantastic. I thought Rollins
Yeah, I loved
amazing.
it. Punk basically got bitched out, and like, there's no real defense for that because Rollins is right.
Right. So it was just Rollins just forcing him to hear truths and then like walking out.
I'm surprised
basically.
Punk's ego can allow this to happen on TV because Hangman says one thing and Punk starts this vendetta that essentially destroys his tenure in the company.
So if this is how Punk wants to be used as like a foil for other people or whatever, for other people to look better, then great, because I thought this was an awesome
but
segment.
again, Punk's the babyface here. Like,
I know.
Is Rollins gonna have to go heelish just to fit this? Because again, Rollins is not wrong.
Or we're just shades of graying everything. I don't know.
I guess, which is okay, but like, not really, because I think Punk is in the wrong.
I do too. And this was longer than normally I'd be complaining because this was so long. I thought it was great.
Yeah, really it was awesome. Rollins just was serious and like it was perfect.
He was awesome. The Liv and Dom Judgment Day thing, it's sort of throughout the show, but I summarize it all here. Basically, Liv and Dom are set to wrestle as a tag team. I guess Liv campaigned for this, so they're going to take on Ray and Zelina Vega. Dom acts like he doesn't really want to be a part of the tag team, right? But you kind of are suspicious that he doesn't really hate it, sort of thing. Lots of innuendo, right? Talk of working on double team moves. And then there's a scene where she's like helping Dom stretch very suggestively, and the rest of Judgment Day sort of catch him, sort of thing. And so this culminates. Basically, Liv helps Dom finally beat Ray in a match, right? As they do win over Ray and Vega. And then, what was it? Liv jumps into Dom's arms to celebrate, and he sort of falls forward, again, landing in a suggestive pose, and they almost kiss. And this is the main event now, right? So this is the last thing on the show. Ripley's music hits. She comes out. Basically, you can see Dom starting to plead his case on like the area mics, not actually with a mic or anything. Rhea kind of indicates she wants none of it. I think shoves him even once. And then just basically she walks to the back with Dom like a little puppy following along, trying to like explain his side, right?
Trying to cover his tracks.
So it went really well. It's weird to say, but I almost wish it had kind of gone on longer the way they were doing, because I thought it was really entertaining. Like the whole,
I guess you're building to a SummerSlam match, probably.
Dom being like, I've already tried to take care of this, when he really hasn't, because I think he kind of likes the attention from Liv, right? And Liv doing a great job in her role. And Judgment Day all being there, like seeing like, Bud, you're getting worked here. Don't be stupid. Like the whole thing was. And really
Priest
good.
Even warned him like, you're gonna have to face her, and then here's Ripley. So I feel like we're building to a SummerSlam match for sure.
For sure we are, and it should be. There should be a lot of heat towards it. So pretty cool thing to end the show. And then going back just to touch on things, Gable was facing Jey Uso, and as he's putting on an ankle lock, the power starts glitching, right? So Jey ends up spearing him and winning. And then we get smoke and creepy.
And he dips out pretty quick.
Yeah, so he rolls out of the ring, leaves Gable alone. We get the smoke and the creepy music. And Cole is so... I almost wanted to clip the audio and put it in here, because it's him going, smoke and that music, it has to be the Wyatt 6. But he sounds so like the most... Like, I read it with much, much better than he did. So anyways, it's Nikki Cross, another VHS tape for commentary.
Which I will touch on.
We will. We'll get to that too. Pete Dunne had a really good showing as the gatekeeper to Sheamus, kind of, right? So he lost to a tsunami after 7 minutes, but I would say Dunn got most of this match. A lot of it was focusing on Reed's arm. He looked really good. Just crisp, quick, regular Pete Dunne, right? And then Sheamus has to save Dunn from a post-match attack. Sheamus hugs Dunn. Dunn kind of shoves him away. Sheamus is confused.
I like that. Yeah, I like that, because he's back to his solo gear and his own theme, and like, so he's full on Pete Dunne, no new catch crap. Yeah. And so, he benefited from this. I like that he shows him way after, because I'm interested to see if this goes anywhere for Dunn while he's on his own. Because we have Sheamus versus Bronze Reed next week, so I'll be interested to see if, because like I said, reportedly there are plans to keep him on TV, so we'll see.
It could be Dunn gets involved and screws Sheamus, right? And we get a program there for SummerSlam.
Hey, if Dunn gets a singles PLE match this year, I would be very happy.
I think that's the best he can hope for, so why not?
Give him Zayn's belt.
Yep. Rollins Priest interact backstage. Rollins is willing to keep his word about no longer challenging for Priest championship, but because Priest is now angling into being a babyface, right, or is a babyface or whatever, he's kind of like, I know you're a man of your word and so am I, but babyface, you can have a shot after I defend against Gunther, which I don't think you're going to.
Yeah, but I think that's why they're kind of going back on it, because it doesn't matter.
But again, it kind of
undermines the opening segment.
A little bit.
Like, obviously, I think Rollins still has a right to be mad, but it's like it's less so because it didn't fully cost him the thing.
Right, and that's why he's so mad is now you cost me that shot and it's my only shot.
Yeah,
but it's not.
It's a bit of a difference, right?
But in the moment, he didn't know that. So we get Sammy in the ring pandering to the local fans, not in a bad way, just as you do when you're in Canada and you're
Ottawa,
Canadian, right? So it makes sense. Something about Braun can knock Zayn down, but couldn't make him stay down. I would
have gone to Ottawa for Pete Dunne.
So Braun comes out and he teases kind of being respectful, and then just all of a sudden, because he even says, like, I think there's no reason he should get a rematch, and then just spears Zayn immediately, right? And then he hits another one on the floor where he gets the big running start this time.
He he did the thing to Pierce where he's like, look over there, and then he just started bolting the other way.
Dragunov comes out and has to be held back from attacking Braun. So
Braun, going three-way.
Again, Braun looks unhinged and violent, right? And it feels like it's leading to an interesting triple threat.
It'd be cool if they built a three-way, because I think they did a good job of building the three-way with Gable and Bronson. So it's kind of cool they're able to do these decent multi-way feuds.
Yeah, and it gets...
Between that and even the NXT one, too, right?
Gets Braun in another high-profile match where it's not just him, right? So later... Braun is DQ'd in his match with Dragunov after Braun threw...
Braun and Dragunov just going on Raw is crazy, too.
And so it was Braun whipping one of the big announce chairs into Dragunov and getting DQ'd. So then Zayn comes out there to stop Braun from further attacking Dragunov, but Braun ends up looking like a beast again. He takes out Dragunov and Zayn and like stands tall on the announce table. So more like super strong booking of Braun. He just hasn't won the big match yet, I guess, is the thing.
Like Pac.
So the third Wyatt VHS tape. So basically he talks about...
I got it if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
You want me to try it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So the new vignette. Howdy asks about Dallas's family, and he talks about how he took the discarded and the forgotten and gave them a purpose. They are happy. They were remembered. And he kind of so like, as we get flashes of each of them, both in their masks and without their masks, except for Nikki. He kind of has phrases related to their cause in each of them.
Right.
The example I have for when we see Gacy in his pig mask, he says, being a glutton for punishment doesn't make abandonment hurt any less.
Nice.
So I thought that was kind of cool. Loomis's was something about mercy and so on and so forth and what have you. Dallas asks if Howdy thinks they are sick. He says yes. So Dallas says sick is what they'll be. Again, I think it's just really fantastically done. I loved it. Their motivation towards Gable and possibly others in a similar boat is intriguing, and I like everything we've seen so far. There was also a bit later where Dallas is sitting in Pierce's office, so he's escaped this realm, so to speak.
So,
but it's really interesting. I love this stuff
because Gable's giving it to Pierce about not handling this situation, and then Pierce enters his office.
Okay.
And he's sitting in there already.
Okay,
so it's cool. Yes. So they're like spooky is fine. And I like that
it's not overly supernatural, though.
It's not at all. And there's other than the lights went off, and
but that happens so many times.
Agree. And the fact that you're showing me these are real people leads me to believe you're not going to probably get into the magic stuff, because you're going, nope, this is Eric Rowan, this is Joe Gacy. Like, these are people you know. They've just been forsaken and whatever. So
it's like Forgotten Sons, but
I've sort of collected them. So
yeah,
I was fine with this too.
It's cool, and it kind of finally shows them as who they are. So it'll be interesting to see if we see any more of them.
Why no Nikki Cross, though?
I don't know. Maybe she's just Sister Abigail.
I'm wondering if they're going to swap her out for Alexa Bliss at some point or something.
I don't think so.
I don't either, because they've called her Nikki Cross. Commentary, I'm almost positive, have used her name.
It'd be weird to do that. So
it would. The only other thing from Raw I had was Damage Control are yet again promising that things will change. So they actually do win a trios match against Lyra and the Rave Girls when EO pins, I think it was Kaden Carter with the moonsault. There was a really brief Lyra EO interaction in the middle of this that I thought looked really promising. I don't know if they could get a program going somehow. But anyways, the point of this match, Damage Control win and they're heels. So the new heel group, of Starks, Baszler, DeVille come out and attack Damage Control. And honestly, attack looked pretty good, but heels are attacking heels as their debut. So is the motivation just Io's Michinoku driver to Stark in Money in the Bank? Is there something else? Probably not.
I don't know.
So anyways, we get a new heel faction with DeVille seemingly as the head and Baszler and Stark as like the tag team in it. So I don't know. We'll see.
Baszler's not a tag teamer.
Could work, but I might not. The only other stuff I have is NXT. We get Ethan Page in the ring with his new championship to start. He talks about how everyone hates him, including the locker room, so he has security with him. Oro Mensah shows up, tries to get at Page, but security hold him off. Trick shows up, walks right into the ring. So I don't know what security were doing for Trick that they, you know what I mean?
He's not trying to attack him.
I guess. He demands a rematch for tonight. Page denies the request. Spears comes out. He thinks Page owes him a thank you for something from the 4-way match. I didn't catch specifically.
Because he held back Trick, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Evans comes out. He wants everyone to shut up. He goes over what he did in the match at Heatwave. Then they start to brawl. Officials run out as the baby faces sort of hold the ring. Didn't accomplish a lot. Page kind of came out, rambled, just like say something so everyone can interrupt you kind of thing. So Page is capable of way better promos than this, but it was just to get everybody back out here. So I don't know where this leads. Like the 4-way didn't solve anything, kind of feels like, you know what I mean? All three of the same guys are still in contention. So at least a lot of people want the title.
I think it's probably to set up the main event.
I guess. Lexus King is the next challenger for the Heritage Cup. He and Tony go back and forth on Twitter or something.
We saw that, didn't we, during
Did we?
Heatwave? They were like playing. There was something from D'Angelo and him, and it's like, why are we setting up? That's when they set up that match.
Oh, yes,
I was like,
that's
why
right.
that?
So they've really made this Heritage Cup feel unimportant, right? They've taken it from like strong workers and stuff to like not a parody mobster and a guy that I don't think can
rock
wrestle.
Music over.
And I don't think he's good in the ring at all. So that's a problem.
He's not great, no.
Petrovic and Grace, their tag team's over, so they face each other. They won at Heatwave thanks to Grace's cheating, as we talked about earlier. And then Grace ended their partnership after the match, and Ava made this match to see which of the two is better. And Nyx and JC Jane come out early as well. Long story short, Petrovic wins with a spinning kick after 3 minutes. Henley comes out and attacks Petrovic and leaves her lying, and then walks out saying she's sick of rookies, but it looks like now she's joined Nyx and Jane.
One of them's a rookie?
One of them is very much a rookie, as much as anyone else around. But anyway, so it looks like they're now a trio. So anyways, the match was nothing more than a way to exit the Grace Petrovic angle, I think, and introduce the next program for Henley. I guess she's taken on younger talent, and that makes sense because she's kind of a veteran. She can work with the younger ones.
Jane, which is weird.
Yeah, I guess so. Jensen sit down with Ava, right? Again, he's getting rewarded for all of his... Didn't really go very far. So Jensen said everything he needed to and was sorry and owning up to it and taking responsibility. Ava said she's ready to fire him, but people vouched for him, so they're giving him a second chance.
Briggs?
Yeah, Briggs. I think they admit it in the show later. She reminds him that he's a superstar 24/7. Briggs thanks her. They shake hands. Wasn't what I was expected at all, right? So I'm hoping at this point this is a insincere apology, obviously, and that he goes on to do bad stuff that he maybe can't get caught. That's what I thought. Like, he'll just do bad things, but not get caught for it. But no.
Or just do it in plain sight.
So then we get the Heritage Cup. It's Tony D, Lexus King. Booker is apoplectic about King not having anyone in his corner. Like, oh my God, he doesn't have anyone. And Tony, like, okay, that's his choice that he's made. Anyways.
Isn't he supposed to be unlikable?
Yes, that's true. He literally is pissing off everybody he interacts with. So I don't know what but he's supposed to do, Booker. First round, basic back and forth, no decisions. King's in a Boston Crab to end it. Eddie Thorpe is DJing in between rounds, and I did laugh when he first showed up, like because you know how.
I saw that, yeah.
But the DJing sounded terrible to me.
Was he actually? They should have just faked it.
They should have. King momentarily is distracted. It's enough for Tony to hit the forget about it for the first fall early in the second round.
Have they decided what move that is?
It was a spinebuster one this time, I think.
So not the twisting thing?
No. Third round during a commercial other than the final 35 seconds, and I don't have picture-in-picture up here, so we get King hitting a really lazy that knee to the back he does in the coronation to earn a fall just before the end of the round, so it ties things up at 1-1. More DJing by Thorpe. King immediately attacks Tony to start round 4. Tony takes control with strikes, throws until King hits a diving DDT. Tony counters the coronation into a spinebuster for the win, and with about 30 seconds left in the fourth, I thought it was fine at best. King's just not good in the ring. I think like at this point, the evidence for me is kind of overwhelming. Tony's capable of fine matches, but this wasn't it. This was kind of used...
like how we waited for Ty Valkyrie.
It was used to further Thorpe-King music debate, right? Rock versus EDM. So cool foundation for a feud, I guess. Jensen then attacks Javon Evans backstage, right?
Just straight up.
In front of cameras. Briggs comes over to try and stop Jensen and berates him. Jensen says that he's trying to make an impact, which I think he said when he was talking to Ava too. So he says make an impact a couple times.
I'm going to make a total nonstop action.
Right, exactly. My goal is to be total nonstop action and make an impact.
I'm sorry.
Wink. Right? So
I wanted to bring you total nonstop action every week. I'm sorry.
So I just thought it was weird that like he gets this second chance from almost being fired, attacks the up and coming like undeniable future star backstage, and probably gets fired, right? No, we'll see. That would be too logical. Chase U backstage. Hale says she'll beat Izzy Dame tonight and get them back on track. Ridge comes in and says they stole the show at Heatwave. He thinks Hale will beat Dame tonight, and he got Duke Hudson a North American title match against Femi for next week. And Osborne is like, oh my God, he's going to kill Duke, basically. But Hale thinks he can do it. So
Osborne is valid in his concerns.
We're back to, I think so too. We're back to Ridge Holland's story, I guess, after a brief diversion at Heatwave. Gallus, which is Wolfgang and Coffee, take on Tyson DuPont.
Which Coffee?
And Mark. So the rookies attack Gallus on the ramp. Gallus did this sounds weird, but picture it. So backslide, and then the other guy drops a knee to his face. It actually looked cool and really like very simple brawling. You know what I mean? Like your arms are pinned, your face is down on the mat, and the guy just knee drops right on your face. I kind of liked it. Gallus dominate Tyreek, and then Tyson gets a hot tag with drop kicks and a sidewalk slam. Joe pulls down the ropes. Tyson spills to the floor. Gallus hit their running, kick, spinning, slam thing to win after 3 minutes. Don't know why this needed to happen. I guess you got young guys on TV, and reminds us that Gallus are cheaters and are brawlers, I guess. Tyson showed flashes in his hot tag, but there's not much to take away in a 3-minute match. Trick wants his title back no matter what. With Evans taken out by Jensen, he needs to find a new tag team partner. Who could it be? Somebody who will make an impact, maybe? Possibly.
Probably tell me his name.
Yeah. Wesley gets some time to speak in the ring. He lost at Heatwave. He's disappointed. He thinks it might be time to start thinking about stepping away. He doesn't even finish that sentence before the MSK theme and the other.
We haven't heard in a long time.
The Rascals come out to some TNA chants. They remind Lee that he is the best North American champ ever, and they make reference to MSK being the best tag team ever, and Wentz wants to get the tag team back in action. So Lee gives their hand gesture, seems like he agrees to it, and they hug. So MSK is a cool tag team. If they're going to actually try some sort of tag division.
The photos that were leaked is like, because I don't know, like you remember the Hitler photo? Or
yeah, so I don't know if that's blown over or what.
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Or I don't know if MSK is going to TNA or if they're staying in NXT. I don't know.
Well, it's weird because they have a 6-man tag against people. I forget who, but and they're teaming with Kushida.
Right. So
instead of bringing Wesley there, so
strange. So it only opens one way, the door, I guess. So Paige doesn't think...
they think they're fighting no quarter because Dempsey attacked them or something.
Paige backstage, I think it was, doesn't think Trick will be able to find a partner, and he's kind of rude.
Doesn't that make it weird that Wesley's not going if they're facing NXT people on TNA?
Yeah.
That's just weird.
It's strange. He's rude to the interviewer. Spears goes off to help a lost soul, so I don't know if that's teasing him working with somebody or what, but...
Maybe he'll start snatching souls.
Maybe. We get Izzy Dame and Thea Hale with the rest of Chase U around there too. Feels like Izzy's kind of been adrift since Kiana James left, right? Dame kind of worked as a heavy for a mouthy heel, and now she's like got nothing.
Kiana James doesn't really do anything, so I don't know why they called her up.
I agree. She's done very little, although she's SmackDown, so maybe I just don't know.
No, she's on Raw.
Oh, is she? There you go. Dame dominates a good portion of this. Paxley climbs over the barricade in Chase U colors because she was hiding in the Chase U section.
That's funny.
She comes out to battle Dame, and it allows Hale to take over the match after a dive to the floor. Hale makes Dame tap to the Kimura after 4 minutes, so another short, uneventful match to further storylines. I guess Hale gets a win at least.
I mean, I guess you could put Hale up to main title status.
Yeah, she's probably next, like one of the next few.
I feel like she's above North American, kind of.
Probably.
Like, she could do it.
She could.
Like,
she could.
She's also
kind of in between.
She's one of your only options for the main title, so it's like if you might have to bite the bullet and put her up there instead.
People that have been around like her and Henley, like been around long enough.
But Henley's heel, so it's like
right.
That's what I mean. Everyone turns heel.
Femi addresses Duke Hudson from the stand, says he'll destroy Hudson next week. Hudson's on the mic. He's not impressed. Says that Femi is better not underestimate him. He gets really fired up and says he'll rip the title away from Femi in 7 days. Doubt it, but sure. Gallus interrupt the Rascals backstage. They say they don't want them there. Some vague reference to Joe Hendry, I think, as well. Clearly, this will be a tag or a 6-man, I think. Nice contrast to styles, at least, and experienced wrestlers on NXT, so that's okay. Ava's in her office with Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs now. So the punishment for this guy that almost got fired and then just attacked a guy for no reason, he gets to face that guy next week. He gets a match on television for attacking somebody. Cool. Briggs wants to face
He'll
Sean.
Get like an entrance music and everything too.
I bet he will. Briggs wants to face Sean Spears for taking a month of his career away. Stevie Turner suggested Briggs as Trick Williams' tag partner, while Stone did a say his name thing to reference Hendry again. And I just think this whole situation makes Ava look like a terrible leader, right? She, after all he did on social media, then he attacks the 20-year-old future star, and instead of discipline, it's just like you get a match instead on TV. So you're getting more...
You get to compete like everybody else.
You get more exposure than you had before. Anyways, out the mud, Nima and Price with Jada Parker take on the OC. Nima's in a mask from a broken nose. Nima has a crazy delayed vertical to Gallows that looks pretty nuts. Price with a huge freak accident to Anderson. I don't know what that's actually called. I still call it the Lars Sullivan.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
Slam. I don't even
The
know.
OC take over. Meechin goes after Parker on the floor. OTM hosts hit their finisher to Anderson for the surprise win after 5 minutes. So I actually think OTM might be an act to watch going forward. I like Parker. She kind of works as the leader of the group and the mouthpiece, and the other two have an impressive look. And I feel like they're not trying to do too much, and that they could end up being.
I saw Nima had a mask on him now.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like JC Jane.
Oh yeah, he broke his nose.
Yeah.
I mentioned that somewhere in here. Fallon's a mean girl on Instagram. Ruka isn't letting it bother her.
Horrible acting. Just not good.
She'll just keep putting in work while other people complain. That's Ruka's thing. No quarter catch crew. Kemp is written off by being locked in a trunk and made to disappear.
Technical wrestling gambler or gangsters.
Because I guess Dempsey's back to emulating Tony D, right? Because he was doing that for a while, and this is his mood. And so you noticed that Ren Sinclair saw it happen, right? And she's like, "Don't worry, I'm not going to say anything," or whatever it was.
She's getting trunked.
She may be the next victim to get trunked. You're right. And then actually, my notes just disappeared, so I'm going to have to go and look up TJR to see if there's how much is after this. I don't think there is very much.
I mean, at least there's the main event.
So you've got, there's Fallon Henley. We got that. Dempsey and No Quarter Catch Crew were shown backstage, putting in the trunk of the car. We got that. So it was Henley and Ruka, right, was the main thing. So this one came down to Saul went for the Soul Snatcher, but missed it and then hit. She was attacked by JC Jane, Jasmine Nick, so ended in a DQ after 5 minutes. And Henley's now officially with them, basically. Isn't that amazing?
That's great.
Yeah. So, and then did you see the two main roster guys coming back? So you know how Stone and Stevie Turner are doing that stupid competing for Ava's attention? So who was it first? I think it's Stevie Turner is bringing back Cedric.
Oh, I did see that. He's
Alexander.
Good for him. He doesn't do much.
And then Stone, it's Ashante Theodonis.
Oh, they're a tag team.
So, it's both. They each brought one each, though, apparently.
That's weird.
Yeah, so anyways, that's what that was.
So Stone was like, oh, I get to pick someone from your now, so I'm going to bring Ashanti.
Yeah. And so the mystery partner for Trick is TNA's Joe Hendry. Again, really good reaction for him, obviously. And so it's a tag match, Trick and Hendry taking on Page and Spears. And it went about 10 minutes.
They brought back Hendry since they did like nothing with him the first time.
They did. Remember how fast he was out of the Battle Royal or whatever?
Which is such a weird choice.
The end of this, Hendry avoided a move by Spears leading to a DDT. Hendry caught Spears with a fall-away slam. Spears charges Henry. He tosses Spears out of the ring, hits Trick with a trick shot on the floor. Joe hit the standing ovation slam and picks up the pinfall win here. And you got Vic going like, "Do you believe now?" So Hendry got the pinfall here, right? So he's getting put over here a little bit. A pretty decent main event. I didn't think it was amazing, but a solid tag match with nice to see the reaction Hendry's getting, right? So I don't know where that goes from here, but yes, he should basically beat Moose and be the champion.
Yeah. Well, it's a 6-way. If you really don't want to have Moose lose, Kaz is there.
Right. I guess so, right?
So, wait, isn't it elimination?
He's the MVP or whatever. It is elimination.
Oh, so never mind.
I'm pretty sure it is. We don't have anything from SmackDown, right?
No.
And you said you had a little bit of figuring?
A little bit.
Can we just tack it on here?
Yeah,
because we gotta get out of this place. So
yeah,
what do you have for us?
Actually, I'll be able to show you, and then we can maybe splice it in later.
Yeah, I'll do the video later tonight.
The first one I had was just some random thing I saw from the major pod posted was new AEW 2-pack, which is because they've been doing that pay-per-view series lately. They had the Revolution Danielson a little while back, and then they have Double or Nothing Baker from the Owen Cup with the belt, and then so now they have Mox and MJF from when MJF won the title from Full Gear 2022. It's Mox in like those weird dark red pants he had that one time, which was weird looking, but I mean that's neat enough, I guess. I'd get that if I can find it, but it's Target exclusive, so I'll have to find it somewhere else probably.
Right. Yeah.
Unless it's like one of the ones that doesn't sell
Target's
great.
up here, buddy.
I mean, that Adam Cole from Target is Toys R Us, so
True.
we'll see.
They trickle into other stores sometimes, for sure.
New images for the ringside Jeff Jarrett fig. It looks pretty good. I just don't care about it. Like it looks.
Yeah, it's Jeff Jarrett. It's Jeff Jarrett, it's cool.
It looks technically good, yeah.
Right.
And then unmatched 10 renders, which I'll show you. And this one I was telling you, I actually looked into it to figure out the attire dates for some of the ones I wasn't like I know for 100% sure, because the first one we have is Adam Cole in the pink gear from Double or Nothing 2022, which looks pretty good. It's cool. It's the same one. It just has the boom face, and then it's in the pink, and then it'll have the Owen belt, which is cool. Which is why I'll get it.
Right. New belt. Gotta get it.
And then Adam Copeland from his debut match, I think, against Luchasaurus, and that looks pretty good from the renders. Like they're just computer generated right now, so
looks good.
We won't know for sure. Then Kenny Omega from Dynamite Grand Slam, the match with Danielson. So it's weird because Copeland's like super recent, right? But then like you have this Omega from over 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, which it's a cool gear and I really like it. It's just it's odd that we're going that old. And then we also have the Young Bucks from All Out 2021, which was the cage match against the Lucha Bros, which is cool. It's like the orange.
I remember really liking that.
It's got the pattern on the back. It's the same with Nick too. It's just the different heads, but they have like they're basically the same formula, obviously.
Great match.
Yeah, that was a great match. And that one I had to look into, but I was able to figure it out just because I know it's tag champ Bucks, so I just rough estimated the timeline, and so I just picked a pay-per-view from then, and
there it was.
I nailed it. I had to run through a couple, but
you
I
actually did research to do that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I knew it wasn't Full Gear because they had the pink mustaches, remember?
Right.
It was that Falls Count Anywhere Trios match against Christian Jurassic Express. But then we have Kyle O'Reilly from, I think, Double or Nothing, which was that. Remember we had that random pay-per-view match with Darby that was pretty good?
Oh, yeah.
It's that one. So that one's pretty nice. And then the chase is a black and gray Cole, which has a shirt, which isn't as cool as the pink one, but it's still something. And the rare 1 in 3,000 is Brandon Cutler.
In quite a suit.
Yeah, which I mean makes sense because I don't think everyone will want that. So to make that like a limited one, it's kind of makes sense to me, which is what they've been kind of doing lately. Is like instead of making both the rare ones just variants of two people in the series, usually it's a variant of someone like the Cole, and then like a more obscure one. Like I think in the one series it was Alex Reynolds.
Wow.
So like there's stuff like that, or like Billy Gunn had one. Yeah. And then there's Mattel showed images like actual figures of Ultimate Edition Steiners.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
And it's cool because the one Braun Breaker figure is in that pink numbers singlet that Rick Steiner had, and that's what his figure is. So it'll be kind of cool to put that there because Rick Steiner's a great human being.
Lovely, lovely man that he is.
Lovely boy.
Gross.
Yeah.
All right, I guess that's it.
That is all.
That wraps up our beginning of our 4th year of this podcast. That sounds crazy to me. Thanks for joining us for episode 208. We'll be back next Saturday for 209. I don't think anything exciting's happening before that. Even if it does, we usually just wait till Saturday now anyways.
Oh, that might be the week. No, would that next week be the week that you're gone?
Yeah, it might be a abridged episode.
It may be something a little unorthodox.
We'll release something. We don't know what it is yet, but we'll see you back here for 209 next week. And until then, everybody, take care.